All right. Hi, hello, and welcome, welcome, welcome. Happy Black History Month. Thank you for being here with us this evening. My name is Aetherius Bordeaux. I am a main cast member here on the lovely Indie TTRP channel, RD5. Thank you so much to RD5 for allowing me to be hosting so many Black History events this month. It has been amazing. Also, I normally do this at the end or at the middle or just when I feel like just boosting up a friend, but we have our good buddy Justin, who is running tech for us tonight. You can't see Justin, but Justin is just holding it down. He's being a homie behind the curtain, and we love Justin for that. But excitingly, tonight I am getting to have a conversation with the creator that I have had the pleasure of working with and getting to know over the short time that I have been a creator. And interestingly enough, as you'll hear when we start talking, I'm sure we actually started around the same time. It wasn't like too long after, I think, the gap between when the two of us started. But yeah, Queon, that's all to say. Motherfucking Queon is here. I don't know if I'm pointing the right way. Nope, wrong way. There it is.
Damn right. Motherfucking Queon. Yeah. Hi, I am Queon. I go by Brother Queon across all the internets. And I am very happy to be here.
Yeah, tell the folks, introduce yourself to the children, to the kids.
I am a TTRPG performer, actual play guy, all of that good stuff. I am also a graphic designer and video editor and audio engineer. I do a lot of shit. I am a certified goofball. I am a certified mercenary for hire, and for the most part, I just love being around dope people and telling dope stories.
Love that. I'm realizing I'm being a poor host. I'm so sorry, y'all. I do have snacks laid out for y'all if y'all would like some. Help yourselves, go about. But I did not introduce myself, which makes me a bad host and inhospitable. My name is Aetherius Bordeaux. I am a TTRPG actual play actor as well, and a streamer. I got Twitch affiliate, and I swear then I got casted in a lot of stuff. And been in a lot of stuff since then, but very recently I've been returning to it, which has been very, very exciting. But you can catch me in things like Castleton, which is coming to its finale, coming to its series close, which is so bittersweet, but so exciting. Amongst a bunch of other projects, you can catch me Wednesdays on the Pride and Prejudice meets Power Rangers inspired AP that I'm in, which is amazing and is every bit as what the description promises it to be. It's a really, really interesting mix of those two things. But yeah, and a bunch of other stuff. But I can talk about that some other time. Tonight, I'm excited to have this conversation. I want y'all to know I bought snacks. I'm not getting sponsored for this, but I bought Doritos popcorn, which I did not know existed. I just wanted people to know like the magnitude to which I am taking seriously the preparation that was done. I think you got snacks as well, Queon. You got food too, right?
No, I just have the ADHD special, just liquids.
There you go. That's smart. And I'm definitely gonna have to like, grab a water at some point in this. And sorry, team, I am being like a super neurospicy myself and just realizing now that I want to turn my ringer off so that if someone calls my phone, yeah, right. Boom. Sorry about that.
Volume down.
Hey. Yeah, no. Okay, so I wanted to start the conversation, and this is going to be relatively freeform and kind of informal, y'all. I thought this would be a great opportunity to get to know Queon better, and for like you to get the audience to get to know both of our experiences. And so, talk to me about Queon. I want to start the conversation with just like the blurred, which is Black Nerd for those unaffiliated or uninitiated. The blurred experience, right? Like, when did I'm asking this with the same kind of gravitas of asking like when you knew you were gay. I'm like, when did you know that you were blurred? When did you find out?
I've never had anybody word it that way. When did you know you were blurred? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it really hit me until middle school, because like as elementary school, you're like, oh my God, everybody loves like Pokemon, Digimon, all of that shit, Power Rangers, all of that shit. It is your go-to, right? But then you get to middle school and realize that people stopped caring about that shit and you did it. And I also picked up reading manga at the same time. So I was like, oh, yeah, this is my thing. So that's when the whole nerd thing hit. About 6th, 7th grade, where I was like, oh shit, this is where I am.
Yeah, I think that like only people who experience Pokemania, which again, for those, if we got some Zoomers there, just to bring the Zoomers up to speed there. Pokemania was when Pokemon ruled the world, ruled the fucking planet for a number of years. If you think Pokemon is popular now, I cannot tell you how insanely infused into just like everyday culture Pokemon was. Like literally kids were trading Pokemon cards like cigarettes in jail. There was like a market for these things, let me tell you. They got outlawed, right? Like, oh my god, the like holy shit. So no, I completely get that. And so there was a time when it was that massive, when it was that kind of ubiquitous and like everybody was engaged in like more nerdier stuff. Like I remember being in middle school and high school and there being kind of like relative phases within like the nerdy-ish like the crowd within my school. Like I remember there being a Yu-Gi-Oh phase in particular where that was like the shit. There was definitely a Magic the Gathering phase.
Here's the thing. I think the only phase that I missed was Magic. I caught every other wave.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Beyblade, Bakugan, Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon, all of Digimon. I was on all of them and it was just like, and I haven't left per se. So, because I would go grab it, but that means y'all would have to see what is behind me. And I don't want to do that. But I have a Squirtle plushie that is on my bed and a Pikachu plushie that is still on my bed.
Nice. I only own one plushie and it's a disembodied Sonic head. Not literally, but it's just like Sonic's head.
Let's unpack that. What do you mean? What do you mean by that?
Now, okay, hold on. I saw it recently. Now I have to grab it. This is gonna take 2 seconds, but it's cute-ish. You know, you be the judge. Also, you let me know.
Actually, if that's the case, then I might as well grab my Pikachu.
This is my boy. Yeah, this is the classic plushie portion of your Black History Month. Yes.
It's my son.
This is my son too. Mm-hmm. This is Sonic. He likes to go fast there.
He goes a
little bit fast. But no, so I do remember.
Chat said bringing a dual disc to school. I was never that, but I definitely did. I had my cards on me all through middle school.
Oh my god! Hey, shout out to Rosie and Courtney and Reezy and literally everybody in the chat. I am neuro spiced up tonight, so you will see me A, go on tangents, B, bounce between chat and my conversation with Queon with like questionable efficacy, and we're just gonna like roll with both of those things as they happen. We are all about what? Authenticity here at RD5. Thank you. Right, amazing. So back to the like blurred experience. So I want to know like what medium kind of was your first like nerd obsession or hyperfixation, or went from beyond I liked something to I am like a nerd about something? Was it like a manga? Was it an anime? Was it a video game? Was it like, what was the first like medium that like hooked you?
So I think it was two. Of course, again, Pokemon. Pokemon was like, I had, and this is, I'm kicking little Queon in the ass right now. I had every single Pokemon game that ever came out. I had red, blue, yellow, crystal, gold, silver, all of them. I don't know how the hell we made that shit happen, but we did.
The truth though, yeah.
I'm like, I had every single one. Do I have any of them now? No. And I wish I did, because those things go for bank now. But I think that was like the biggest thing where I was like, yeah, I'm in love with this and I don't want to leave. But when it comes to manga, I think this is a deep cut. And I doubt anybody even knows about this manga or anime. And if you do, we're friends.
Wow, lay it on me. Like somebody somewhere, this is their favorite thing. So say it. It was the first time I read something where it was like a little gay, and it was called Demon Diary. That shit was by far
I'm kicking somebody's ass in the gayest way possible manga I have ever read, and I loved every minute of it.
The furious typing of our audience right now. I'm looking that up, Demon Diary. I can hear the keyboards clacking at AO3 as we speak.
Oh God, it was so good. It was so good, and it's just like, and then of course falling into anime, and then realizing that I'm gay because Sashomaru existed. So who knows? It's a lot of things. Okay. It was a lot happening.
That's amazing. And shout out to my beloved Aaron, my boo. I love you. Hey,
Hi.
bestie. And Silvia and Hampod. Oh my God, all you fucking cuties. Thank you for being here. Thank you. Oh my God, thank you.
Oh my God, thank y'all.
I'm trying to think. The medium for me, I think that definitely hooked me was video games in particular, because I consider myself to be like an escapist by large, which is a fun and like very utilitarian thing to be, particularly today in modern day times here now where we are. And it really was like RPGs as like a genre, but video games as a medium that I really felt like the first step over from. And I actually think like it was Pokemon. I honestly think that like Pokemon was the gateway RPG for most, if not all, millennials. And there's somebody who's like pushing up the bridge of their glasses right now, and it's like, I was a Metabots kid. Can you get that right?
I was a Metabots kid.
And I was gonna say, you can be both. Duality, right? We have layers here. But yeah, no, I really like, and it started, and I remember like when the switch happened in the specific game that this switch happened with, when I realized that there were more games like Pokemon, because when I first played Pokemon, I didn't really conceptualize it as an RPG. I didn't really think about games in that way, you know, like in the terms of their genre and mechanics. And so I remember fucking renting from Blockbuster. Yes, honey child, millennialisms. Renting from fucking Blockbuster Final Fantasy, I believe it was it 9? It was 9 was the first one that I played. Ooh, and I was like, this is like Pokemon, but also like the coolest anime shit that I think I've ever seen. And there's like a story, and there's like all of this customization, and I could write a love letter. Like when I tell you, like look forward, by 2026 I'm gonna do a fucking video essay about my obsessive love of Final Fantasy 9. It is the best Final Fantasy, and I will fist somebody in an IHOP parking lot about that. And I just need that on public record.
Not you trying to tussle
for the world to know. Yeah, I know. I'm like threatening a theoretical.
You had said something about Blockbuster.
Yes.
I just need to know if you were also a part of the inevitable downfall of Blockbuster, or if you were a good kid.
I had the like Blockbuster pass a little bit, wherein there was like a Game Pass thing that they had towards the end.
Yeah,
and I remember having that. Yeah, I man, oh God, I remember.
Yeah, no. We would rent from Blockbuster, and I would never return the shit.
No, we
Crystal for sure.
I know that the one that we went to was called Video Universe, and that's generic enough to where I can say it without like doxing myself, but it was like a smaller, like private owned place. And I very distinctly remember like walking, like I remember getting this game there and I could not find it for years. And I would explain this game in detail and what I thought was detail to people. And I'm like, it was a fucking PS2 game, and it was like super gothic, and you fought like supernatural stuff, but it was in like the modern day, but it had like co-op multiplayer, and there was like a black lady with a sword and yada yada. And years and years and years later, that title, folks, is Hunter the Reckoning Wayward, which is a TTRPG property, right? That I like engaged with way, way, way before I picked up the property. Yeah, it's like that Hunter. Okay. Yeah, I like put those together so late in life, and I was like, you know what? It's like when you had those moments where you kind of like looked at some underwear packaging when you were younger and had a gay thought. It was like that, but like the nerd version of that. I was like, I was around the area. I was having those thoughts at the same time.
I've never had a moment like that. I don't know what you're talking about.
I like reach for pearls. I don't have to clutch them.
Like, I'm wearing a cross. Excuse me.
Yes, in this Christian home.
In this very unchristian household, please.
Please. But yeah, so Final Fantasy 9, and I just love that. So I'm curious. Narratives in video games is something that I am obsessed with, and that I kind of have like based all of my video game content is surrounding, and it's something that I think is super powerful. Do you have a favorite like video game narrative? Is there a game that carries the story that like has stayed with you the most? If you need to give a couple, I'm willing to be lenient just this one time, and I may allow it. We'll see.
Oh, you're just now going to be lenient. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. I thank you for your generosity.
We'll see how kind I'm feeling.
I don't know. That's really hard. Just because I'm thinking of like all the video games I've played, and there's some where it's just like I would love to go back and play it, but it's like I don't want to, because I feel like I might have rose-colored glasses over it, and I don't want to go back and ruin it.
Yeah.
Because like Tales of Symphonia, that story, diabolical. It fucked me up as a kid.
Okay, hold on. So because this is like within the outskirts of like my anime like RPG JRPG experience, is Tales the series where it's like anthological and it's different each one, where it's like Tales of Vesperia, Tales of like okay. So I played one of those. I think Tales of Vesperia is the one I played, where it's like Yuri and he has like purple hair. Yeah, that's the one that I played the most. But okay, so the one that you played, the one that you played
came before that.
Okay,
and it's gonna have like a special place in my heart, even though it's like I think all of the Tales games will, just because like those were like me and like my first ex's first games. Like we co-opted together, we played together, and it's like it was just so good. But oh my god, they are just phenomenal. I can't. If anything, I would love to play those for the first time again. Whew. So good.
This is so good. I like the Final Fantasies all had such hold on. I see that Ham Pod in the chat is affirming my undying love for Final Fantasy 9, and I feel like that it just bears acknowledgement, both verbal and written.
Oh, and I would like to add thank you to Critical Bard for affirming my choice in Tales of Symphonia.
Shout out and welcome to our good buddy Omega.
Right.
We're talking about gay blurredness and gay things and black things. And so you came at the right night. Video games was like a huge piece of that bridge into me. Did you ever get into comic books when you were younger or as an adult?
I wanted to get into comic books so bad. It just never curled over for me. Like I think the only one that I actually read and enjoyed was Black Panther, because of course. But I don't know. It's just like they just never really did anything for me. It's just because, which is also like wild, because I loved reading manga.
I was just gonna say, okay. So flip it. I need an info dump on like your favorite manga. Bring us up to speed, like the best manga that you've read.
Best manga. I haven't read manga in so long, and this is like I'm a weeb, so like even like Fruits Basket. There was a whole bunch of like I think the only one that I'm reading now is what is Shangri-La Frontier. Basket. That's it. Shangri-La Frontier. Listen. Fruits Basket and Love Hina are very much so romance shit. So if you ain't into romance, don't touch it.
Interesting. This leads to like next questioning. So genres. So I clearly see that you were into the romance genre. To be honest with you, I'm trying to think. The only time that like I've dabbled in the romance genre is cheating because it's like romances within like RPGs,
Oh,
right?
okay. Yeah, that is,
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not the same. I mean, sometimes like there will be deep, like, you know, they like to put like romance plots in a lot of things. So sometimes like a visual novel or something I've read has like romance, like Steins Gate kind of has some like romancy stuff into it.
Steins Gate is good.
Mm-hmm.
Steins Gate.
Oh my god.
Also controversial.
Oh, hot take incoming.
Death Note was good to me, okay? Death Note did me justice. Yeah, I enjoyed it.
Is that a hot take? Is that an unpopular opinion?
Mainly because a lot of people hate the main character. A lot of people hate Light, and I don't particularly hate Light. So
I mean, that's something, because I like disagree. Okay, here's my thing. Like, I feel like disliking that character, I don't know if that should affect like your overall take. I mean, I guess it affects your overall opinion of the media. That's fair. But to me, like, I don't need to like and want to like, you know, or enjoy some of like the best stories that are told, like the first 7 seasons of Game of Thrones that we acknowledge as some of like the most like memorable and antagonists because of like how they were handled. That's interesting.
Yeah, like I may have I loved all of that nerd shit, but then I was also a Disney kid, so I was a big fan of all of the villains. Every villain deserved what, like, they should have won. A small piece of them should have won.
Never has any singular Disney villain done anything wrong, and
I wouldn't say that.
Saying that on the internet for it to exist.
Because Mother Gothel specifically, and Cinderella's mom can go to shit.
There are definitely like some CPS calls that could have been made in some of those stories. So like reframing it that way, maybe I would take back a little bit my previous statement. I'd like to add an asterisk about that there are indeed some.
Don't double back now.
No. I'm trying to talk over the sound of myself backpedaling. Thank you, Queon.
You're welcome.
So some of them have maybe done some things that are less than great, or maybe just a tad bit problematic there. So I just there's some exceptions to those rules.
I think the biggest thing, like, this is where like growing up and being like a blurred was a little like hard, I guess, because I grew up in the middle of the hood. And all of my family members were heavily gang influenced, right? And when I say that, it's like it was to the point where my brother would tell me like, hey, if you get into a fight outside, you better not lose because that's his name on the line, type of shit. And I'm like, wow. So there was a lot of stuff that I had to like keep to myself that I enjoyed. So it's like a lot of like gaming and stuff that I didn't like outwardly say I enjoyed it. Like reading manga, I only read manga at school in my AP classes because I was smart as shit. Or on the, like, I didn't even read them on the bus. I kept them in my locker. It was like hiding that I was gay. Like, nobody could know that I was a nerd.
That's interesting as fuck. I want to hear more about this from you, because this is like it's so perfect about what we're discussing, because I think that like the big crux of the blurred experience and of the uniqueness of it is that many things that are considered like nerdy are not necessarily quote unquote like mainstream in the Black community. There are a few things that I feel like transcend that, like Yu-Gi-Oh! All Black people that I know have had like a dabble at least at one point or another.
You're right, but there was also like, you may dibble and dabble into it, but there's a line where it's like you can't be too loud about it. Which kind of sucked, because like I really like, I went to a pretty diverse middle school, and I wish that I was able to like be outwardly happy about the shit that I was like consuming, but I couldn't. So because I didn't want to have to fight about being gay and being a nerd. I had to pick a struggle, and I chose neither.
Oof, and being black too.
Yeah, well, that wasn't
Yeah.
that big of an issue because my school was very, again, in the hood. So it was very black. We had a lot of Mexicans, and we also had a good Asian population as well. The white people were the minority, but so it's like just the way I'm looking at it. I'm like, I'm trying to fit in here, and I can't rock the boat too much. I was already smart as shit. I'm already in AP classes and not around anybody who I actually go and live in my neighborhood with. I don't need to have another target on my back.
That's real. I mean, you just touched on something that I think is interesting, which is that like being intentional about your kind of level of engagement with something that you like, because of, like you said, wanting to fly under the radar. And it's one of those things that makes me feel like so happy and like a sense of catharsis about stuff that we do like now, right? Because these same things and these same parts of us that like we have hidden away at different points, be it like stuff we were interested in, being like more interested than is normal or traditional into like a specific the trading card game or whatever or what have you. And yeah, the experience of like navigating that and how much of that you like disclose or display, and like the gay thing, like both of those, that is like an experience that's very specific that very few people I feel like have lived through. And so it's one of the reasons why I feel like stuff like this, being able to have these conversations, is so like powerful, because even for me, like even if I wasn't like having this conversation, if I was like watching or listening to it, this is my first time hearing stuff like this explored, right? Like about in particular, like this nuance piece about like Black identity and your nerd identity and where that falls in terms of like, you know, your self image or self mythos. And yeah, I think that's super, super interesting. So I want to touch on something. So being Black and being queer in this space, it makes me think of something I wanted to talk about towards the end, but I have something I'm going to switch over and talk about for that, because I want to talk about this in general, and that is World Replica. I want to talk about
my baby.
Do you want to like okay, give me 1 second here. I literally have a like glass of water that is across the room, and I do not want to like go to a formal break to do it. So I'm gonna leave the audience in your capable hands.
My hands?
Don't
You're leaving them with me?
Yeah.
Oh God.
Don't light on anything on fire. Don't talk to strangers. Look both ways. All right.
I just wanted a little bit of anarchy. Okay.
No, I got 2 seconds.
Get out of here. So now that Aetherius is gone, I want all of you to just spam the chat and just say the most outlandish. Don't get blocked. Don't get because don't go too crazy. Hey, don't get blocked. But it's just because I know the chat is being very much so like, hey, if you guys say too much right now, we're gonna mute you. Don't get muted. That's all I'm saying. Why is there a flipping off emoji in here? What is this? Act normal.
Y'all better be behaving now.
Ain't nobody behaving. What do you mean?
Make sure there's no shenanigans. Hey, oh my God. I can feel my mouth drying to death. Oh, now look at this chat. Look at this. Oh, geez. Oh, cheese and crackers there. You leave them alone for just a minute.
Yes, you do.
Been like default. I love doing the Minnesota accent. It's my like fucking favorite thing.
Hey there, bud. We'll be fine.
We're gonna have taco night, and we're gonna make some tacos.
A menace. But
and we're gonna,
you had asked me a massive flip. I need to see this, please. It's not loading.
Ruh-roh.
Come on,
Boo.
everybody, get it together. Anyway, you had asked me about my child, my baby, World Replica.
Yes. World Replica, which yes, you tell the folks what World Replica is.
World Replica is the brainchild of me loving far too many isekais and video games, and where I wanted to tell a very Black and very queer story. That was a lot on the qua. A very queer story, where several friends get trapped within a video game, and I had the pleasure of DMing that with Aetherius in my cast, and I am very excited, and it is out now and is doing amazing little things, and I'm surprised that you people like it, because I was nervous as shit, because that was also my DM debut, and I'm so glad that everybody is enjoying it, because I thought I was a terrible storyteller and everybody is saying otherwise.
Well, first of all, amazing to hear the good feedback. Aetherius is in that? That's crazy. This is my first
I had no idea. I'm sorry. I didn't want to break the news. Sorry. Sorry to let you know.
But yes, no, we recorded what initially was supposed to be, I think, a contained story, right?
Yeah.
But
now
it's
supposed to be only one season. However, because of my chomping at the bit players, we're looking at multiple seasons, and I am so excited because I now have a world that I'm building, and a world that I get to tell amazing stories in with dope people. And if anybody is at my table in any time in the future, you're most likely going to be in that same world, building different things around it. So yeah, just enjoy, babies.
Yeah, no, we definitely will get like a link to where you can find that. That is out. I know at least 2 episodes are out, and you can get that wherever, Spotify or Apple Podcasts, all that good stuff. Hell yeah.
But it's actually in my link tree. If you go to my link tree, it's the first link there.
Ooh, and I know that we have that. I'm pretty sure. Ooh, excuse me, in the Twitch thing. But yes, no, it was amazing. This was an all Black, all queer cast that and it definitely have been times in my life earlier on, especially living in Minnesota, where being in a room with either all Black or all queer people, just period. If either of those things happened, that would have been remarkable for me, just because of where I grew up. And so to do that project was just so personally meaningful, because it felt like I really came into this space and really have made an emphasis about authenticity, right? About kind of leading with who you are, showing up. And if I'm going to be representation, I'm going to be representation in a way that I feel like is true to me, and I'm not going to essentially be cultural keys for someone to dangle in front of their audience, but yeah, it's been the experience that I want to kind of jump into and talk to you about next is your experience kind of entering hold on, before I ADHD switch it over, I want to talk about World Replica a little bit more. We are going to get into that, but I want to cue that up because I feel like I don't want to pivot from that too soon, because it is an amazing product project, and it was done over at Batty Bards. What I really loved was I had no idea. I definitely didn't know during the first episode of this series that this was Queon's first time DMing a thing like that, because of how great it was. It is so amazing. I really loved my character Kai. Has there's some queer romance wherein he has a boyfriend that he has lost outside of the game and that goes missing. And he may or may not encounter that boyfriend again. But what I will say that is spoiler free is that was super impactful to be able to do and to be able to role play out. I thought I've never really seen that traditionally, and this is something I've talked about. I'd love to get your input on this, Queon. is that a lot of the time when I have seen queer representation in like the TTRPG community or in actual plays that I've seen kind of, especially within like the indie sphere, when there is queer representation, it is almost never between two mask presenting performers.
Right.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like you almost never see that. And it's something that like I have made a big effort to do. And so I was really happy that it wasn't even planned, but that it ended up working out that I was able to tell a queer story between two masculine presenting people on Castleton with Wes and his character Orpheum and my character Phineas in a like this huge cast of so many people to be like one of the few queer couples on that like really meant something to me. And so when you and I shot this I think it was definitely like that, but there was this added additional element of being able to tell this queer like black love story, especially because it's not conventional. Like it is not laid out like
No, it is not.
a beach episode. There is romance. I do want to like preface this with saying that like it is not a like slice of life type of thing. There definitely is romance, but the it is played out and we get these moments in some really like interesting ways. But that that was like super significant.
I think for me it's like being somebody who hasn't got the opportunity to see my actual I haven't been able to see myself in a lot of media, and I'm like, I won't say the actual word because we are on Twitch, but I am a black dude. I am a mask presenting black dude. I have effeminate features. I have like effeminate like mannerisms of myself, but for the most part, you look at me, I'm a mask presenting dude, and I also just so happen to like mask presenting dudes. So to me, it's like it's one of those things. It's like it's nice to see that portrayed and it not be played up for a gimmick or not be played up just for views, and it was genuinely a genuine moment. And I think that's the reason why I even got into like being the storyteller of the games, is because I wanted to I always do this for the people in the back. Everything I do will always be for like little Queon. I want little Queon to be able to be like, we did a thing, we did this. Or it's like for my nieces and my nephews, because I have so many of them, but I want them to be able to see something different and actually be proud of somebody who's not in the lifestyle or in like doing like hoodlum shit, even though I call myself a hoodlum all the time. But it's just one of those things. It's like being able to tell stories that matter to me and also matter to other people really like makes my heart sing.
Yeah, that's beautiful. I think that's like a beautiful thing. And that you have this platform and the capacity to do this is amazing. And what you're talking about makes me really reflect on just the idea like legacy in this space, right? I think you're exactly right. And you and I have discussed this like outside of this conversation, this idea of both of us like wanting to leverage the success that we find, not only to open doors, but to them for those who walk after, right? Like it's not enough for me to have made it and for me to like be moving forward and to have this momentum like that's great, but it's never about just me, right? Like it's always bigger than me, bigger than just that role or just that thing. You're always, and I think that is just part of like being a Black professional in this space. I want to talk to you, switching gears, about your experiences now, like specifically entering the TTRPG community as a Black queer person. Let's talk about the community first, and then we can talk about what it was like for you, like in beginning your content creation journey as somebody who's Black and queer.
I just got to the point where I could call myself a content creator. And
I feel that.
It's one of those things.
Not for you, but I understand the sentiment. I would unequivocally call you a content creator, but that impulse is something that I think is relatable. Yeah, because you. Oh, geez, you done so much stuff there. Cheese and crackers.
I guess. I'm like, I guess people know me. But I don't know. Like I talked about this in a previous interview, and I don't want this to be like my shtick. But before I got into the TTRPG community, I was heavily into the spiritual community on Twitter. Where it's like I guess I could say I was like a content creator there as well, and I didn't want to be. That just like came across. like that's just something that came with the territory. And it's like my day job, I do content creation anyway, so it's like I never really wanted to like do the day job as like my free time thing. I always saw this as just like fun and hanging out with people and telling fucking dope stories. So fast forward, I'm like, oh shit, I am a content creator. Oh shit, people do enjoy what the fuck I do. Damn, I'm stuck. Damn, how the hell? Like the one thing I did not want to take work and make it. I didn't want to do work twice, basically. I just wanted to have fun. And then through having fun with this is where all of this other shit came from. And it's like I have met so many amazing people, and it's bonkers to me just because like the TTRPG community is so welcoming and so open and so like everybody, like you can find anybody who's like there for you and everything, which is not the not to downplay the spiritual community, but it's very cliquey over there. It's very like, if you are not in a specific practice because of XYZ, we don't want to interact or anything like that. And then even within the same practices, you have people who are in different houses who have issues with each other, and it's just this whole big thing. Like, and for the most part, I don't have that here. Everybody who at least I've interacted with, everybody has been fucking amazing. So it's just like, I might have had one or two bad apples in a bunch, but that does not say anything about the TTRPG community as a whole. And as somebody who is like socially anxious and all that good shit, I had no fears after like the first night at PAX U. After the first night at PAX, I dove headfirst into it and I was having a blast. Just because it's like that was the first time seeing so many people in real life, and I was just like, I don't know how the fuck this is gonna go. I'm the same person online and offline, but I don't know how everybody else is, and I'm so fucking scared. And that left, and then everything was fine.
No, I completely get that, especially like on the pack. And there was something definitely about going to PAX U that felt, to someone who can definitely relate to your sharing about like the feeling of kind of like imposter syndrome, someone being like a content creator. I definitely felt some confirmation going with PAX U. I got to like really make so many connections, meet so many folks. I thankfully got to meet Queon, although briefly the couple of times that we were able to link.
Because you were,
I was gonna say I overbooked
every time.
Yeah.
We were supposed to hang out, and it's like, oh, Aetherius. And then the one time that I was supposed to hang out with you, I was at a concert. So
yeah, you were not the, like I had a few people at PAX U where I was like, I'm sorry, I thought I could do everything because it was my first time like going to an official thing as a creator, and so I was like, so many companies had reached out, and I like signed up to do so much stuff, and it was also my first time like being a content creator at a con period,
right?
And so it was intense, but it was super fun. But I loved it.
That's the reason why I had like the initial wave of imposter syndrome, just because I'm like, I am a baby here. That was my first con period of like being like on the name of something. I've gone to like cons before just to like buy art, get in and get out type of thing, but this was my first time being like at a con and my name was somewhere where it's like, hey, go see Queon doing things, and I was like, oh shit, that's terrifying. Because it's like, this goes back to the small things for little Queon. Like his biggest dream was just like seeing my name in lights somewhere, and just like having my name like on something where it's like, come see me talk about shit, because I've done so many things of being the person in the background and being the person like pushing other people forward, doing tech or anything like that. And when it finally came time to come into this, I was like, I don't want to do tech. I don't want to do all of that stuff. I want to be happy and very proud of what I'm doing. And I want to be the talent, damn it. I'm tired of being the person interviewing somebody. And I'm like, I want to be the person getting interviewed. I want to be that. And that is literally what little Queon wanted. And I'm just like, everything I do here is just to make that little kid happy. That's it.
That's amazing. Now, it's super cathartic to hear. And I think that relationship you have with your inner child is definitely something like super special. I agree with you. I think that you know, those experiences really can shape that. And it's, you know, like sometimes it does help having that kind of external affirmation. I do agree with you. I think part of that is the mortifying ordeal of being known and seen by folks, but conversely, it wasn't all like negative. I think this happens to me to this day, and it was particularly like at PAX because it was in person, and so it was like a little bit magnified. But it happens to me like whenever I like meet or interact with someone who knows who I am, my brain fucking 404s. Like I cannot understand. I'm like, and when people, I think it's a lot of being like very deeply, profoundly Midwestern, and like I have this watertight seal to like positivity or like positive feedback. But it's something that, the journey that I have had since coming into this space, I think is very similar to yours. Forcing.
And it's also like, how do I put this? Being like, this goes back to just like the Black experience specifically in all of this is like being able to be Black and be a nerd and be in the TTRPG space with other people just like you means so fucking much to me, because even if like I knew I was a nerd like back in college and high school and everything, but like all of my Black friends around me, they wasn't playing no goddamn Pokemon. They wasn't doing that. So it's like, now mind you, I had a blast. We were going to the club, hanging out, listening to music, doing a whole lot of hood rat shit, but being able to like share your interests with somebody who shares a lot of like your personal background and things means the fucking world, because like there's so many times where in mixed company we feel like we have to code switch, we feel like we have to put on like a front, or we have to act like a completely different person. It changes you when you can sit here and drop that guard and play these games, and you're saying a reference that somebody's gonna get. Like I can make a reference from Friday After Next and somebody's gonna get it. And it's not going to just be like, oh yeah, it's a joke. It's like somebody's gonna laugh just to like appease you, but they actually understand it. And that's really nice. And I'm like, I love people who want to learn and everything, but it's also really just dope when I don't have to explain shit.
You're exactly right. Yeah, it's like you have these interests, and you might have Black friends or like just friends of color, but they don't share that. Like the people that you do, and this is like, you know, speaking. And I agree. I think that is one of the things that's been so exciting about joining this community, has been like connecting with folks. And so many, like I got to play games and do all of this cool stuff at Paxia with like Justin, who's doing our tech, with Omega. I got to play a couple of games with Liz. I got to hang out with for a little bit. Meadow I got to meet, and when I tell y'all, I was so upset with virtually every Black person I knew there, just because no one introduced me to Meadow, and I was like, the audacity
First of all,
that is wild.
You did not ask.
Crazy.
Meadow was my damn roommate. You didn't ask me shit. So
I had no idea. Somebody like brought me over and was like, hey, so you know Meadow, blah 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 blah, yada yada. I was like, no, I don't think. And they were like, oh, you haven't met Meadow? You don't know who Meadow is? And I was like, no. Or like, I'm like, well, admittedly, I don't like know who like a lot of people are, but like, you know, should I meet them? And they're like, oh my God, they're here. I have to introduce you. And then I met this fucking like brilliant goddess, this like absolute icon, and had to immediately be like, I need answers.
Yeah.
Why has no one introduced me to, why have our paths not crossed? We still haven't sat at a table. We have done an interview. I did do an interview with Meadow, but like we have not sat at a table. So like, is someone there? If you got something cooking and you need 2 Black people, I know 2 Black people, well, maybe 3 there who can hop on that project.
Okay, come on there, bud. I won't be doing this accent at all. That's not happening. I can't sustain that. That's ridiculous.
I make no promises about what accent I will make or I will not make. I cannot make any kind of confirmation as to what I will or will not bring to a
A
table.
menace you are, a menace. But no, like I love the community that I've fostered, because it's one of the things that, like, growing up in the hood, like, community is very important, and even now to me, community is very, very important. So it's like there's certain things that I'm like, I'm not gonna get rid of. So also, if you need anybody to fight anybody for you, call me.
Interesting. Queon's got the making services called 1-800-Queon.
It's just so people know, it's like, I will always be in their corner. If I call you a friend, even if we fall out or don't talk, I am always in your corner, no matter what. So it's like, and not many people can say that and mean it, but damn it, I do.
I feel that deeply. I'm such a hype man for like my friends. Like, if I consider you like a good friend, like, I will like hype you up. Oh my god, I'm thinking about, like, I can see Justin but you guys can't. I'm thinking about when I was at PAX U with Justin, and he had a really awesome interaction with Chaosium, and everybody we talked to, I was just like a proud fucking mama. I'm just like, Justin here, my boy Justin, just so you know, just crush it over at the Chaosium booth. I love
metal the entire time at PAX U. I was like, impeccable. I'm proud of you. You're doing great things, love.
Yeah, like, you just need that friend who just like silently claps behind you and says flawless every couple of minutes. That's all they interject with. Or just, they could also say no notes every 5 minutes.
No notes. 10 out of 10. I don't have my 10 card, but I will.
Oh, do you have one?
I'm gay. Yes,
I love that.
Absolutely.
I need one of those for streaming. I need a chop card and a 10 card. That's smart. That's that black gay ingenuity in action for you folks only. So I do want to do something. You let me know, Queon, if you're okay with this. Don't feel obligated to say yes. So I'm thinking about opening it up to some questions from the audience.
Yeah,
within reason. All right,
y'all know me.
Okay, fine then. Just don't break TOS. That's the one requirement.
Just don't.
As long as it's like TOS friendly, it'll get answered.
If y'all got questions, like what I want to play, what I'm excited about, if there's a character that I've played or anything like that.
I do have some questions while we are waiting for those to come in. One of my favorite things to discuss, and I love getting into with people, is the character creation process. I'm fascinated by how people go about creating these characters, particularly for an actual play, right? Because that is so much more, there's such a difference between writing a character for an actual play and writing a character for like a one shot at a table or something that isn't being shot. So when you know you're going to do an actual play, whether it's a one shot or, particularly if it's longer, how do you approach that process, like, of pulling that character out from the creative ether? Like, where does that start for you?
It typically starts off as a bad idea. Not even gonna lie. It's a very shitty idea, or it's like very rough. And it's like, okay, cool. A lot of mine, I'm just like, I'll think of like, oh, I want to play this type of character. I want to play something that I haven't played in a while. And it's always a shitty idea at first, but I kind of let it sit and I kind of let it marinate. And then afterwards, like, I build into it and I think about it a little bit more. And I also just like pull from real world things. I like to think of like character building as kind of like writing for a show type of thing. So it's like, characters are going to have beats, characters are going to have like depth, ebbs and flows, and there's going to be things to like always learn about them. So it's like, if you make a character specifically for like an actual play where they know everything about the character in episode 1, I think you did it wrong. I like, there should always be something new that can like be developed, and like also be open to talk. Don't be so rigid in what your idea is. that you aren't open to hearing what your DM has to say, because you might have something where it's like, oh, like I want to do this, and then fast forward, your DM is like, oh, I had this really dope idea. I would love to add this into your backstory. But if you are so gung-ho and set on one thing, you're going to miss out on a way to tie you into the story and tie yourself into something bigger than what you just thought of. Just be open to like, have fun. Like, this is a community thing, and we're having a conversation and building characters together. That's the big thing.
No, I love that approach. And it's so interesting because I feel like everybody has such like a uniquely their own like a perspective like on the process. I know for me, like I always, irrespective of like system or setting or any of that, and often those are things that do not come into my like thinking or conceptualization phase until much later. Except for setting, like the world is always like one of the things that's the most important. And I think one of the first things I do is like take a look at what the DM has imagined for like the world, and importantly what the DM, and this is speaking specifically about like actual plays, this is the process like I kind of go through when I like first sit down with like producer or somebody, you know, is to go through this. So just getting like a feel. I think taking the time to think about this is important, because the character that you play is somebody, especially for an actual play, you're going to be playing this person for potentially dozens of hours. You're going to have to be this person. So I think it's kind of incumbent upon you to write somebody who's interesting or compelling enough to where, and especially for me being neurospicy, I'm like, I have to write characters, someone who's got enough like narrative meat on the bones to where I don't feel like, to your point, if we know everything about your character in the first episode, like that is. And I also think I agree with, well, I know that I agree with you about like the people being like self-limiting with their backstories by coming in with this kind of like prefab, I won't alter this idea of who this character is, because so much of it, I feel like even with APs, I think especially with APs, it's just like any other form of like entertainment, like television. The things that work are often based off of like chemistry between the actors and the cast. That is what brings us back to shows that we have, is when there is that real feeling like chemistry between the cast. And this is another reason, there's just like a quick ADHD aside, why I always advocate that people come into a story, particularly in an actual play, with pre-existing relationships, even if it's just you've met that other character, just some kind of like point to pull from. I love doing that because it like helps circumvent some of that from like needing, so it makes the like beginning of the story less exposition-y, in my opinion.
I did not do this with World Replica because I didn't need to, but at my home table that I GM for, when we were doing character creation, I had each person write basically 2 truths and a lie about themselves. And I had them pass that out to the other players. And that was the rumor that they had heard about this player, about their character. So it kind of just gives them like, I've heard of you. Isn't this the guy that killed somebody 16, like stabbed them 16 times? Or didn't your mom run away with the milkman or some shit like that? It's just little wild shit. So yeah, and it's just, it's a lot of stuff where it's just like having the interwoven connections. And this is also the reason why session zeros matter more than just talking about your lines and veils. It's also about table continuity and how they work together. Thank you.
I mean, I wish we had like an actual like PSA. If I could put that "the more you know" GIF up just for a second on the stream, I'm emotionally doing that. Chat, imagine that just happened. I completely agree with that, because my thing is, and like this is, I gotta give some shout out. Like both Queon was really good about the production of World Replica and integrating our backstories into the story. And what's so interesting, and like tying it back to World Replica, like that character in particular is an example of where, and like I went in with an idea of who Kai was, and by the end of that season finale, he was much different than I thought he would be, and his relationships with the group.
in 5 episodes.
It's a big shift. There's
Yeah.
like a big shift, but like in it, there are a lot of really earnest moments in that show that I'm very, very excited for folks to see. I remember there are a lot of times that our cast got, particularly towards the end, got very like emotional.
I'm editing episode 5 now, and I can hear the silence of the tears, and I'm just like,
oh no,
because I remember
oh
there was a
geez,
couple times, like I remember somebody was like, "You made me cry so much this episode." I'm like, "I'm
yeah,
sorry."
I remember that.
I didn't mean to. But
I think they meant it as a compliment.
no, it is.
You know,
it is definitely. But I do see that we got a couple questions in here.
oh yes.
I am skilled.
Thank you. Oh my God, look at sliding in. Honestly, let's change this from interview on the Chiron and all that to like just co-host. No, you graduated since this has started. You've earned a promotion.
In my day job, I do the interviewing too, so I get it.
That's crazy, and I can't believe we never talked about this. But I have almost the identical thing. I worked for a lot of like political figures. Like I went to school for like media and etc. And so I also did a lot of content creation and a lot of interview prep for a lot of other people. And I've actually talked about this in different interviews in different places, but it was actually here on RD5 where I made one of my first steps from being, like you put it, the person behind the camera to being the person in front of the camera. So that fucking resonates with me deeply. But go ahead, co-host Queon, please read us these questions. What do we got going?
Okay.
What's the audience what y'all want to know?
From the looks of it, we have a question from HamPod, aka Ham the DM.
Hey, man.
Shout out to Ham. What do you both want to play? And I'm gonna assume that you're talking about what systems we want to play. I think the only system, like there's a lot of systems that I want to play. But I want to play Triangle Agency so bad right now. So bad. It just seems so fun, and it looks like it's just a good time. I can't wait.
I know that my secret lemon-scented boyfriend Mika has a Triangle Academy show that's on this very channel, which you can check out at a time that I wasn't prepared to give you, so I don't immediately have, but I'm gonna double down on this plug anyways. Definitely check it out here on RD5. Triangle Academy looks super interesting. There is and God, I'm just like love bombing on Mika tonight. Like Mika sent me this system that is like Danganronpa based, I think. And if you know me, this is like something I had been talking about. And it's not like a 1-for-1. But I really want to explore like a courtroom TTRPG, a TTRPG that's kind of like legal, back and forth. I would love to do something where like the cases had like HP and like the evidence was something that like yada yada. I love that they like asked, what do you want to play? And I'm like, well, in a perfect world, someone would make this system. So but Brindlewood Bay would be my easy answer, just because I feel
good.
Like
oh my God,
I want to play that. I know
I just played it.
A game that we were scheduled to play for. It was on RD5, and I'm like now making myself remember. To like circle back on this, and we had an amazing cast. Oh my God, it was Ryan, Run DMG, Nerdy, who else? The Mandy, like just a bunch of fucking homies, a bunch of cool folks.
Now you saying that had made me, I can't even word right. I'm so excited. It reminded me of a couple different games that I want to run. And there is one that is actively like in the writing process, because I am working with somebody else to kind of make a modification to Kids on Bikes and Kids on Brooms. And it is a Digimon inspired game. And I tell you, I'm so excited about that one. I'm so excited.
Hell yeah.
I can't wait. So again, bringing my nerd shit into the TTRPG shit. So yeah. But yeah, that is like, I have to take some time very quickly to be able to like to plot that out the right way. And I have my cast, they have their things. We might be looking for a different fourth player, but we might put out a call for that soon. And one lemon may be in that cast already.
Oh boy.
Yeah, super excited. You're up to pick the next question, Pookie Bear.
Okay, perfect. Can I say something controversial but brave?
I don't know if this is a safe space, but yeah.
Sure, certainly. The Digimon anime was better than the Pokemon anime.
That's not even controversial. That's fact.
No, it's a hot take. It's a spicy fucking take. Believe me, at least to people that I've expressed that universal truth to, I've had less than positive reactions to that.
I will sit here and I will die on this hill. Whoever says that is not true, this is nothing against you, Squirtle. I love you.
I know. He's really taking a lot of aggression right now.
The Pokemon games were by far better than
oh my god, yes, that goes without saying. Yes.
The Digimon games, like the Digimon show, had a storyline. It may have been episodic, but there was shit that actually mattered. Digimon Tamers, by far the best Digimon anything that they have ever created. It was dark, it was good. We got I can fight about this. I'm done.
That's good. I'm like, I love that. I just like, I love when a question just blood pressure spike. There we go.
I got my blood pressure checked today. I'm glad I'm not doing it tomorrow. Damn it. They would be asking me, so do you want to tell us anything? Are you well? No, I'm stressed.
Yeah. Honestly, send me the bill, send me the invoice. I completely take responsibility.
Y'all heard it here first, chat. If I go into debt collections, it's because of Aetherius.
Okay, I'm trying to. Okay, what was your first stream TTRPG from Silvia? Hi, sweetie. Good to see you.
I think this can also be like a double entendre because there was another question that asked what was my first ever. Oh no, that's TTRPG. Period. Never mind. Hold on, I don't know. I have to look at my link tree because I'm pretty sure it was either Class Delta over on Coco Mac Production, or it was hey Derek, I know you're in the chat. Help me because words are hard. What was it called on Nerdsmith? What was it on Nerdsmith? Because I can't remember. The Grand Labyrinth Heist. I think that's what it was called. That was my first, I want to say like big streamed one, because on Nerdsmith they went like very well with it. Like they did a lot of things with it, and I was just like, I was so shocked, and I was very scared when I first got that email, like, because I didn't even remember applying for it. And then the people who were at that table terrified me because they were big names in the community, and I was a baby at the time. So it was just really nice to get like the call and get like, hey, you can thank you, Derek, for singing my praises. But I was still nervous. So yeah, that was definitely my first one. What was yours?
Yes, and also keep the questions coming. These are good.
Yeah.
Give us some spicy. Like I want to get deep into the.
Yeah.
Okay. So the first. This is actually like super interesting because it's almost around like exactly a year. So both the first time that I streamed something TTRPG related and my first actual play streams, both of those were on Roll D5. They were on this channel, and it was long before I was a like full-time cast member on here, or I joined like the main SNL like fucking main cast that they have. So I did first, and I had no idea how much of a fucking like get this was, because like now I have like the full retrospective seeing both of these amazing human beings do their work. But like I initially, the first thing that I was booked to do, even before my first actual play, was a Black History Month panel that was here on RD5, where I gave the perspective of somebody literally taking their first steps into the industry. And that panel also contained Candace, the motherfucking Magnificent, and our absolute mother, Goddess, the only one. Hold on 1 second. Calamity.
Oh, I still have to play with Calamity. We've talked about it. We've talked about some things, but I'm just like, that needs to happen.
I feel that. I'm trying. My neighbor is maybe doing gymnastics or having some kind of like Olympic trial in downstairs. So it's a fun time for them to be doing it, but I'm just gonna try to push past it.
The only one that can hear that is you.
I know, it just is distracting me. I also am glad that you guys can't hear it, but it is like I keep hearing it knocks out. I'm like, what the hell? Oh, Queon, remind me of what we were just talking about. I just had something I was gonna say.
How would you ADHD me?
Oh man,
I don't remember.
Chat. Okay, so Calamity, yeah, but like I did not know who either of them was, and I got to meet Candace literally through that, and Candace and I like kept in contact thereafter, and then Calamity. I was doing the beginning stuff for Philly by Night, the Crit Award winning Philly by Night. Shout out to Aaron My Laundry. Shout out to Justin and Onduin and anybody that's in the like fucking Philly by Night family cast there. And I had written the backstory for that, and I had written a character that played my character's kind of stepsire. So the whole thing with Jean-Pierre, my character in Philly by Night.
That's really cute. I love that.
Yeah, he is actually like a child with a D of the ministry, capital T, capital M.
Oh, wait. He was Ministry. I'm also about to play a Ministry character.
Oh, okay, yeah. Okay, so me and Candace both play. And that's so Candace actually plays my real. She's like the baby mom of like not to my character, but like of my character. And she ends up, she's in this like 300-year kind of like up and down relationship of these two amazing like powerful lesbians, and it's Calamity and Candace the Magnificent play Amelia and Nat'ly in Philly by Night. And Candace turns me, and I will never forget this, or Candace's character Amelia turns me. And I will never forget this when we were talking about like the dynamic that would exist between the three of us with, that kind of weird thing. And she was like, I want this to feel like the same energy of when a man gets a woman pregnant to keep that woman in his life. But this is the vampiric version of that. Yeah.
You said Candace did that?
So yeah, Candace's character, my sire, turns me in this weird fucking attempt. Yeah, because Nat'ly, Calamity's character, had already identified me to be turned. She'd already done the vampire like paperwork and etc. So they play both of my vampire like it's so good. They both
love that. Oh,
crush those rules. There is this, like, I was just talking about on Blue Sky today, and I'm sorry, like, after this, I'm going to get off this ADHD tangent. But there is a vignette that is an all-black table that's Calamity, Candace, and myself, and we see their two characters interact for the first time, and I see her for the first time since I have been turned. And Candace the Magnificent and I did therapy sessions. We role-played, like, therapy sessions throughout the story, and we did this thing where Erin was like brilliantly juxtaposing the therapy sessions that we had before she turned me, because I was turned by my talk therapist, which is another layer. We did the therapy sessions before he was turned, and then we did the like present day him being staked and kidnapped and bouncing before. It was brilliant. So I can't even do like the ADHD retroactive math to do like the red strings to remember how we got to me talking about Philly by Night, but I can't remember it was part of a larger thing. Oh,
yeah, it was. It's fine. It doesn't matter. Chat, you've been here for the whole thing.
Asking questions, and I appreciate that, and we love that.
The next question that I saw that Jenna sent is, what are themes you enjoy exploring as a player for your characters?
Ooh, you go first, Queon. Co-host first.
How did I was not listen, we'll talk about it. We'll talk.
Yeah.
But no, I think I genuinely just enjoyed it's very hard for me not to tell Black stories. It's very, very hard for me not to, because every character that I create has just a smidget of Negro American in it, and because it's just something about it. Like even my very first character that I like had on the streams, which was for Class Delta, so he was a shape-shifting kitsune who was also like not the greatest guy. He was lawful evil, and a shout out to my DM for letting me make that happen. So he was a little shithead. He was very much so, I'm starting shit and I dare you to stop me.
I love that.
But him being a shapeshifter, one of the things that I wanted to like include in that is a little bit of like my heritage as well. So in Haitian culture, you have a thing called a loup-garou, which is basically a werewolf and a shapeshifter, right? So my character's name was Elu, and his last name was Garu. So it's basically was a loup-garou, and it showed off him being a little evil, having his little spiritual stuff and everything. And yeah, he was a little bit of a menace. So I think the big thing for me is always bringing a little bit of myself to my characters, and also letting my DM hurt my characters. I don't care if they die. Yeah. I do, like hurt me, daddy.
You heard that. We need that sound loop. Queon has requested to be stepped on. Apparently,
not me.
That's what I heard. That's
was
what hit my ears.
You heard that. Yeah, I'm looking. I just love that. I think that there's like a good juxtaposition about being open to what may happen. And also like I want these my character to feel like they live in the world, and the world has consequences. If we don't have consequences, what are we doing here? Like I get that we're here to play a game, but let this motherfucker know that he's not a hero, and that there are consequences to their actions. Because if not, I'm gonna sit here and jump off the roof. Like I will come off the top rope at every opportunity. So yeah.
I'm trying to okay. I know definitely one of the big themes that I try to explore through my characters, so all of my characters, is connection.
Hi.
Wait, what happened?
We're getting rated.
Oh, hi there, y'all. Welcome. We are Southern 15% of the time. Hello, and welcome to RD5 Detox. Welcome. You have caught us mid-interview. We are taking some questions. My name is Aetherius. I am a content creator, and I'm joined by I think it's on this side, fabulous, magnificent, the awesome. And right now, we are discussing TTRPGs. And so if that's your brand of strawberry jam, get some snacks, kick back.
Strawberry jam?
Make yourself
Thank you.
So the question that we got from chat, and also we are taking questions via chat, so feel free if you want to hear anything. We've been talking about the character development process we go through when we're prepping for an actual play, and a number of different things, so feel free to engage and make yourself at home, Raiders. So the last question that we were asked was, what themes do we like to explore in TTRPGs to our characters? And immediately I think the first theme that I like to explore is connection. Every single highlight great moment that I have in my head that lives just rent free of those kind of shining moments that you have at a table all of them are about an interpersonal reaction or interaction or relationship with another character. I literally try to avoid solo scenes. I know that sometimes they are necessary for like narrative framing and etc. But if you like look at my body of work, like I am somebody who's always reaching across the table, both behind the scenes in terms of trying to get those kind of connective threads, because it is those little details. Like I, for example, you know, this is just a random like fucking example. There's in the Power Rangers meets Pride and Prejudice show, which I'm doing on Wednesdays. I had a conversation with an actress behind the scenes about our characters' friendships, and we came up with this very cute idea that both of us shared the same birthday. So growing up, we had kind of these like dual birthday parties throughout the, and it is those little things that like I feel like the more lived in the character feels for me, the easier it is to portray them. So connection, I think, is huge, and then duality, I think, is like the other big one. I really try, you know, sometimes it's a lot more literal and laid out, like in a character like Jean-Pierre, where the duplicity or like, you know, they are intentionally presenting something to the audience that they are not. Or it's something like Phineas from Castleton, and that was like a really interesting role to explore with him being essentially like a propagandist, if we're completely real.
I think you saying that has given me like what I actually like, the thing that I actually like. I love change in a character. I love growth. I love creating like a character who has a huge flaw at the beginning, even if it's just like there's a little character that I love right now that I can't say too much about because but they're a soldier, and one of the things that they have to do now is like break out of the confines of what that means, and they have to quite literally rebel against the shit that they have been taught for their entire fucking life. So I love having a moment where it's just like they have to go against what they're used to, going like breaking whatever social norms or whatever the fuck they've already thought for the betterment of themselves. Because I like that in actual life, because it's like you always grow, you always learn, something new is always coming to you. So of course I'm gonna bring that to the game too. So 100% growth and fucking shit up.
I know you. I agree with that, and it goes back to what you were saying about this idea where if the audience has met your character and essentially the pilot for your actual play, and they know every single beat that you laid out in the document that you gave to your DM or that you have, you know, on your Notion or whatever you're using, then I agree. I don't think that it does a disservice to the narrative. And again, I think that what people sometimes forget, myself included, right? And I think that you write these, and you're right. It's important to have that degree of flexibility because the nature of the story that we are telling is so steeped and saturated in improv and improvisation, right?
Yeah.
So you need to be able to pivot and move. And also, I think to me, what I am realizing as I say this, to me, I think the mark of like a good actual play actor is someone who can kind of sense those good story beats, like when coloring outside of the lines of the sketch that you have for this character, stepping outside of that, because you feel that either from the DM or another character that like there's some meat there's something I could do, and it isn't what I thought this character was going to be like, but you have that intuition to like lean in to that. I think that like marks a good role player.
That's also like for I don't want to tell y'all too much because I hope y'all would go back and watch it, but even here for Tick Tick Bloom that was done by Meadow, my original, like, we had like to make like 6 different characters, and my first character that everybody got introduced to was my trader character. And I made my trader character this little bitty fruit, this citrus, who was just like very tippy taps and very like excitable. And I didn't make them like the overly like destructive villain who's like trying to fuck up some shit. But something very pivotal happens at the beginning, and it sets them down a path of heroism, and they change to my young hero over my villain. So it was very, very interesting, and I wish everybody would go look at that because Tick Tick Bloom was by far so fucking fun, and especially like if you like VeggieTales and you also like Game of Thrones, you would love that. 100%.
Yeah, that is such a fascinating soup.
Right? You would think it's not. You would think it wouldn't work, but oh, did it?
No, I love when stuff has that like kind of tonal clash in it, like between the two ideas.
Okay, I was about to say, I'm like, the chat has moved so much. I think we lost the questions, but no, it's still there. Okay. Oh, you put. Shout out to our next person.
Shout out to fucking Justin. Oh, we love Justin.
So we did
Justin has like such like dad vibes, like specific from daddy vibe, like father vibes. He's like a very like caring, doting person. When I roomed with Justin at PAX, you guys, he just is like one of those people that always is so just like attentive and compassionate about folks around him. We stand Justin on this channel and in this house, even though you cannot see them. Yes, love it in the chat. Go Justin.
I'm gonna save Jenna's, I think it's like their second question until the end, because that's a really good question to like kind of close out on. But what was your first ever character for any TTRPG? Does not have to be streamed or anything like that. You first, because you like putting me on the hot spot. Damn it.
Love that. Equity. We like balance. We like equilibrium here on this channel, and I love them. The first character that I believe that I wrote was a rogue, which I think is kind of a new player trope that I didn't even realize I was engaging in. But I made a fucking like dual reeling rogue. Oh my god, and his name was fucking Aetherius.
You named him after yourself? Get out of here.
Yeah, his name was Aetherius. And this is, I think, this is definitely before I was doing TTRPG content. Yeah. And I wanted to play, like, the idea that I had for him, the concept was kind of like a little swashbucklery, if that's a word. I'm gonna make that a word. It was very swashbucklery. It's that like it's that kind of like this is like a generic example, but like kind of the like Johnny Depp example of the Pirates of the Caribbean, of a character that is like equally known for getting themselves into trouble and out of trouble. Like I wanted to, when I like learned it, I'm like, oh, you can do anything in this, which is still something that I still have to wrap my head around sometimes, where I'm like, oh, I could just like completely go nuts, right? I could do something insane right now. Like I really had the freedom to just like fucking, you know.
I think my first character was D&D, and I think that's everybody's little gateway drug. Mine, I think that was her. Yeah. My first character was a tiefling artificer by the name of Courtney. But it was spelled Q''RTNI, but she went by she. Like, and it was like, she was freaking amazing. I had intended her to just be like the very studious, like, oh, I'm not gonna do anything but like read my books and make my machines type shit. However, the dynamic of the table, nobody wanted to be like making decisions. So she ended up doing it out of like, all right, cool, I have the highest intelligence here. You are not even charismatic. You just like to pick shit up and throw it. Not doing that. So she started running things. And yeah, she went down the most lesbian arc of her life. Yes. I did not expect that at all. But she kept getting charmed by every pretty thing walking. My dog just walked in.
I know we got a doggo cameo. we got to have like some kind of either like redemption thing or some kind of channel thing where like if we see a fur baby on screen, we get something. Maybe you get advantage on a roll. He said,
"Don't tempt me with a good time."
Directly at our RD5 buddies.
He lives here. AKA, you can see his dog toy if it's in the frame. It's right there.
Oh yeah, I didn't think he broke in. I didn't think he was a house.
I'm like, he gonna be here regardless. But yeah, like that was my first character, and I had so much fun with her. And I think that character is the reason why I enjoy my DMs hurting me, because my DM decided to massacre her entire family. The entirety of the family, and it was like the whole thing that we were doing was going back to my family to get like just a thing. And when I say, okay, I don't think you understand when I say her whole family, I mean the entire dwarven like settlement that raised her gone. Like, and I got there and found the person who did it just sitting there on like my dad's like desk cackling. Oh baby, the way I saw red in real life, and that was the first moment I was like, okay, character bleed's a thing. This is a thing. It was great though, and it's like, and then after that she made a contract with Levistus on I need your help to kill this bastard. So it was great.
Yeah, that like, man, the characters that I have been able to play, it truly is a blessing that, especially during like this time when all of the things that are happening everywhere all the time always are happening, to be able to like engage in make believe in this way, to have this like creative outlet is truly, I think, like a gift for all of us. And I co-host Queon. You're on the questions. You're on the clock. You're on the payroll. Now I talk to the imaginary. Like,
put me on payroll, coach.
Yeah,
I did. I mean, as you say that, I just put out a hey. If y'all have any more questions, go ahead and put those out.
Okay, yeah, because I got a couple more that I have before we wrap up, but I definitely want. I want to hear from you. The chat.
We do have one more from Jenna, though.
All right. Well, go.
And it is, what projects are you excited that you have lined up this year?
Oh, you have to go first because you are newly promoted co-host, and I would like to.
There is one that I cannot say because of paperwork being signed, so I can't talk about that one yet. But the one that I am very excited about, well, there's two that I'm very excited about. And I know the reason why Jenna asked this shit, because it's personal to them. I will be playing, I hope this is okay to say. You asked, so fuck it. I will be playing in a Curse of Strahd game run by Jenna, and I am very excited that I get to play in a Curse of Strahd game where I know my DM is going to hurt me. It's great. Because
oh my God,
I love about Curse of Strahd. It's dark, and I know Jenna is gonna keep it dark.
Small world. I'm actually cast in that Curse of Strahd thing. I talked to Jen about that as well. I'm now realizing and putting two and two together that is the Discord that I was added to. You are watching these gears happen and turn in real time, audience, with me, watching my brain work.
With that being said, our tech person is also in here. Who the hell is Texas Willie?
Who is Texas?
Like, what is this? Like, I want to know. I'm very, very intrigued.
Texas Willie, interesting.
Oh goodness.
So okay, we got the amazing Jenna project, which and like Jenna, let me know if I'm wrong, because I don't want to be on here claiming something if I'm getting it wrong. But I believe that this is the project that you and I spoke about. Let me know, girl. Let me put that in the chat. But continue, please.
Other than that, I will be in I don't even know how to put this one. I will be in a VTM game that will have two GMs and two separate tables. and I don't know how Derek came up with this monstrosity of an idea and how it looks so good and how it's working, but Nala J. Wu is a part of it. Derek plays well, I was about to say your fucking name, but Queers and Spears is where it's going to be hosted. But it is so many, like, we're playing 2 different coteries, and it is so good. And then I'm also going to be, hey Lux, can I talk about that? Because I haven't seen a thing yet, so I don't know.
Oh, so it is. Okay, so we did get confirmation for Jen. Okay, so Jenna, that unlocks a whole other thing where now, like, I am already beginning to write, because this will be my first Curse of Strahd anything. And I think with my, like, brand being so vampire centric, like, I gotta write a real nasty motherfucker for this. So I'm excited to do that.
And the last thing that I have is that I will be in a, like, there's more things, but these are the ones that I can actually speak on right now, which but I thank you, Lux, for the permission, because I will be playing in a Call of Cthulhu game that we will be doing some things with and such with over on Streaming Rainbow, the Dahlia game. And I am very, very excited because I get to tear into that game with some of my favorite people, aka Spunky Taylor, fucking Meadow, and Midnight Hater. I am so excited.
Oh my god! Yes,
I am so excited. I get to destroy things with my friends.
The way that I am going to be watching that table, I stand all of them. Oh my god, I love Heather so much.
Okay.
I love Taylor and I love Meadow. I like looking for any excuse to work with them. Any other projects that you can, even if you have to be vague and cryptic about?
I don't have anything that I have done. Like, I can't even. The one that I want to talk about, I can't talk about because the cryptic things I could say about it give away too much fucking information. Because if I say where it's hosted or like the notoriety of where it's hosted, I'm doxing it. And I don't want to do that. You can
say it's a thing. You can just be like, it's a thing.
I will be playing an Earth Ganassi. That's the best way to say that. I'll be playing an Earth Ganassi dedicated to the Phoenix of the Flame, and I can't wait.
Exciting.
That's the best I can say about that. But yeah, other than that, I have like things that have come out already, aka the Centennial episode over on Queers and Spears. Not Queers, Queer XP. Words mean things. Their 100th episode was our finale episode. And oh my god, that was such an amazing story too. But listen, I'm done. I could keep yapping this whole time, okay? Don't mind me.
No, that's what you're here for. This is Black History Month, which gives you essentially, you get to say what's in your heart's content. I'm writing you that blank check.
Thank you. But what do you got coming up?
Yeah, so I'm very excited about this Curse of Strahd campaign. I've never ever played it. I have literally zero experience with it, but as somebody who really loves Vampire the Masquerade and just vampire lore and mythology in general, I'm really excited about being able to write a character for that. Really excitingly, I have been working on this project for months and months and months and months. I think maybe like 10 months now. And I've talked about this a little bit before. It's going to be a while before this comes out, but it is finally being edited right now and put together. I am in a show that takes place in the late 80s and the early 90s. It's called Saints Curiosities, and really the pitch for it is that it is kind of the interpersonal Scooby Gang feel of Buffy meets the monster of the week or supernatural of the week occurrence case style, more of like the X-Files in the beginning. and it more into just one of the best stories that I think I've ever told at a table. This is one of the shows where I literally, in conversations after having recorded episodes, are like, I would watch this. I would listen to this show. It's an amazing show. I play a character called Marcus McCoy in that, who is a conspiracy theorist who lives in a fire watchtower on the edge of the woods that was abandoned. And this is a conspiracy theorist in the 90s. Okay, so this is like Bigfoot and Mothman. This is not like flat Earth. Yes, this is not that other, like, the birds are fake, like, you know, like all of it. This is when conspiracy theory was still relatively innocuous and fun, and there was still some whimsy and mystery to it. But it's so good, and it's like such a love letter to the like sci-fi and definitely horror genres. But yeah, I play a character that runs a talk radio show. It's like a pirate radio. Yeah, I played a few characters now. I'm noticing a pattern where I play a character that has a show. Yeah. But it's fun. I get to do like really cool narrative framing stuff like that. And I would say if you are at all interested in analog horror, particularly that genre and that kind of like lens through which a lot of like, you know, modern horror projects are going, this is it very much falls into the lines of like, it's kind of TTRPG podcast, like the Mandela catalog or something to that effect. So I have that coming. I have World Replica, which you can go already find, which is already out, which is the project that myself and Queon are on, the one that we are referencing. That is an all-black, all-queer cast with the amazing folks over at Batty Bards, whom we love, whom we ride for, and who were so just amazing and professional and great, and I love them. I love the story that we were able to tell there. I don't even know. I won't even go into details outside of this, but Justin and I are going to be in a campaign. We are going to be playing rivals to lovers, and we are both playing rival bounty hunters who hate each other, at least in the beginning. And we are not doing like the friends to lovers arc. We are doing the and I'm so excited to explore that, because I feel like Justin is a really, and plus I like know and love Justin, and I feel like when you are like comfortable with someone, like you can feel really safe in those like role-playing spaces to like push that envelope. As soon as I said that, Justin's camera
don't think away. It's just like I slowly start to see the ceiling. I'm like, oh shit.
But yeah, definitely check that out. That is going to be a lot of fun.
Line. You're not the only one, okay?
What did Jenna say? Let me.
12 out of 10 romance Justin in every game.
You know, oh my God, and Kate, the great cosplays. Y'all, I am so sorry. I have been such a shit hostess this evening. All right, I am so sorry. Make yourself some punch that I have out. Make yourself at home. There's snacks.
Would like to shout out the fam over from Batty Bards for stopping in, and I see all of my lovely folks down there.
Yes.
And I'm glad to y'all to be here.
Oh my gosh. Oh my God, yes, Alex and Blue. Yes, so good to see you.
Alex, Blue, and Apple are in here.
It's so motherfucking black in here. I love this. Thank you all for being here. I'm trying to think, but if there are any other projects I can talk about, I don't think so. There is one. Ooh. What you got?
I had to look at the calendar.
I'm like, fancy.
Hey, it's just because I will forget it.
Oh no, I'm giving you shit. I have like my little system too.
It's down the line. There is one thing I'm doing with Justin that I'm very excited about. I don't know when that's coming out though, but I get to play a con man, and I get to deal with some fuck shit and flirt with everybody. And I also just realized, like, I've been told that my charisma stat is, I guess, stuck at 20. I didn't know that, but thank y'all.
Ooh, there you go.
I appreciate that. But yeah, it's another Call of Cthulhu game, and for it to be my like first go at Call of Cthulhu, I am having such a good time because it gets me to like understand the system a lot, and also because Justin is very patient and very kind and makes very hot NPCs.
This is just Justin Appreciation Hour. We're having a telethon, but you can only donate love to Justin. We're just dial in, let us know. Also, if you are just joining us, feel free to throw questions into the chat. The last thing that I am going to say that I'm excited about that I have coming up, and I realize I can talk about this because it's been announced on social media, my absolute just bae, Boss Jelly Bean, my Boss Jelly Queen, the one and only Janelle, is running an amazing game that has so many different amazing creators in it. Off the top of my head, Gloria is in it. If you know who Gloria is, our homie Rin from Castleton is in it. I think Rosie, who was in the chat earlier, was in it. There are a number of different people, Justice, a whole bunch of folks. But it is a really interesting campaign in that it's larger. It's a larger story that she's telling, where it's multiple tables and it's told very episodically. I have never had an AP where I've had the person running it have a theme song made for each character. There's literally a theme for every character in this, and it is yes.
Have you listened to the second episode of World Replica yet?
I have not.
You have theme songs, by the way.
Oh shit. Oh my god, I love learning that I have a theme song live in real time. Did you hear that, y'all? I wish I could do the WWE entrance thing and walk into it now.
Yeah. I took a little bit of extra time and gave everybody's transformation sequence their own theme song. And when it's a you heavy moment, that theme song will be playing.
Wow, that's amazing. Oh my god, I got 2 songs, y'all. This is your boy's having a good 2025 so far. No, I have never experienced that, so that is crazy. I cannot wait to listen to that episode, which again you can listen to too, and it's Black History Month, and so you would just here's the thing, right? I feel like Queon and I, both of our ancestors, would love if you just listen to the work that we have done. They are just looking at you judgmentally from the Wakandan purple ancestral plane. Are you not going to follow these ninjas? Are you not gonna listen to the podcast? So you can do them in the great Bass justice by checking us out.
So good. But yeah, does anybody have any more questions? Because I really like answering these questions. It's really fun.
Yeah, this is a good time to ask the deep questions.
Just for heads up, if y'all see me just dancing over here, I am listening to what did my friend call this? Hold on. She sent me a playlist, and when I tell you it's good, it is great. What is this called?
Oh my god! Sorry, rip your ears. I apologize, audience. That's on me. I just saw that Moz was in the chat. I am a shitty host. Hi, Moz. You absolute delight. You beautiful fucking soul. I love working with Moz.
Ooh, Kate asks. And I feel like one of those radio hosts right now. Kate,
you are. Totally. You thought when you get this W2, you're going to be very confused. But yes, continue.
Hey, don't play with me. What's the type of story you really want to tell, but haven't had a chance to tell yet, or a type of character you'd like to play? I've never got to do the enemies to lovers. I would love to do that. I genuinely want to do that. I hate you. Fast forward. No, I didn't mean that. I love you. Just because it's I feel like that would be a very good story to tell, just because it hasn't come up. And it might be because it's very hard for me to play characters who are not cinnamon rolls. So I may dislike the other person, but they don't dislike me for whatever fucking reason.
Interesting. Yeah, I don't know that I get. Okay, so fun fact, I have one of the few queer relationships in the international smash hit that is Castleton TTRPG. Big whoop whoop. We love. And I like that was not something that was planned from the outset. And I date a character named Orpheum, or my character Phineas dates a character named Orpheum in that story, who's played by the amazing Arcane Anthem. Shout out to Wes, who's just like so fantastic to work with. And truly, like, that came about as a result of just like good chemistry. And we ended up like writing it out after we had like that scene together. It wasn't something that like we had set out to do. So I am really excited to like approach this again. Like the romance story that you and I shot for World of Replica, and again, shout out to the homies in the chat. We love you. Is like, I hesitate in even calling it that because it is very, very complicated. And I think that there is almost this like, especially towards the end with Kai, there's like he has two different kind of points of focus for him, and it's kind of heartbreaking for him to navigate between those two. But that it was like those I like. Again, we were discussing this earlier if you were here, like the idea of that representation of bringing more of the mass presenting like queer relationships to the screen. We do not get to see those that often, and so whenever we can do that kind of storytelling, like I feel like that's like super important, really impactful, because I love like diving into that stuff. But no, this was all to say, to your point about wanting to do the enemies to lovers, like I'm excited to explore that. I think my answer to this, Kate, would be a whodunit. I have not experienced like an old-fashioned whodunit a la Agatha Christie. Like, I am very much looking for that introduce a group of people, tell me one of them is a killer, and then start killing them off individually, thus like eliminating suspects and stuff like that. Because I'm always shook when that kind of story happens and you have a theory and you're putting together the pieces and you have a fucking certainty that so-and-so is sketchy as fuck, and then they die and you're like, what the fuck? I need to reconsider my life choices and decisions. I need to review some things. And I'm a mystery lover, so I love mysteries. Oh my god!
There was a piece of something that you were like, "Hey, can we do this for World Replica?" And I was like, "Sure." It won't happen this season, but it'll happen next season.
I want to know. Send me on Discord what you are discussing. I want to know what that is.
I'll put it in here. It's in video. Words mean things.
All right. Oh my god, look at me being the intentionally an amazing host. Look at me just crushing this.
You're doing great.
Doing the absolute bare minimum and crushing it. All right. So Lux R5 or the 5013 asked, what is a piece of media you would want to turn into a game or either run or DM and be in it? Easy. Do you know, like, I have mine in the chamber, but I want to offer you to go first.
If yours is in the chamber, I'm still rummaging through the closet. Go for it.
Boom. Danganronpa. 100%. The way that I need for there to be a Danganronpa like murder game and class trial or like court trial. So for those unfamiliar with it, it would be essentially like a murder mystery, but also accompanied by like mock trials, wherein a group of people, after someone has been murdered in this group, need to have a trial in which everybody presents their cases and they have to all identify and vote for the one person that they believe is the murderer. And if they get it right, at the class trial, if everybody votes right, the majority of people vote right, then the person who murdered gets murdered, and that sucks for them. But if they get it wrong, everybody dies and the murderer lives. And so I just Danganronpa. Let me say it again. And I know that like this is one of those things that I am like unflinchingly lean into the millennial cringe of. Like, you cannot sully the good name of Danganronpa. Like, I even thought the anime was okay-ish. And if you know that, like, you know, they know. right?
Right.
So Danganronpa would be my answer to that.
So the reason why I didn't have an answer off the top of my head is because, crazily enough, this goes back to the question of like, how do you come up with characters? A lot of them happen on my commute to work. And on my way home today, I had a thought about like what I wanted, like this exact question, like what media did I want to become like, or like play in? When I tell you, this is very niche and it is very much so possible. I want to play or run a Hell of a Boss / Has-Been Hotel inspired game.
Oh,
everybody's
interesting.
in Avernus or in Hell or wherever the shit, and we are just trying to figure out life now that we are now devils. We got history of like our past lives and all that stuff, and just trying to exist in this shitty place. I thought this all the way through about like how to do it. Like in your past life, you're still just humans, but when you get to hell, you're basically can become Eric Crocker. You can do all of this stuff. I have plotted this out in the last 15 minutes of my drive, and I'm like, this will happen.
The chat response to that is amazing.
I see.
I think that is affirmation that you're on. I think you may be onto something there, Queon. Got a good idea there, yeah, dude.
It would be so fun. It just like, and also it gives people the range to be a cinnamon roll. You can come up with any type of way that you're like terrible, or like you can be great. You can try and get into heaven or Elysium. It's so many options. I love it. So yeah.
I fucking love that. I have not seen that show. I think that the closest thing that I've seen to a Hell of a Boss is the Amazing Digital Circus, insofar that it's like an independent animation thing. But no, I love that. I also, and I don't know why, God, Justin, I feel like you'd be really good. You guys can't see Justin, but we can. I think Justin could be really good at like running this, and so I'm just throwing this out into the ether. I want to do an Animorphs campaign because I think that would be fucking sick.
Sorry, I thought I was muted.
I think that'd be fucking dope, dude, to like really lean into it. You know,
I was also an Animorphs kid, so I love that too. Yes, absolutely.
Please. To the Scholastic Book Fair, okay? They're rolling in that fucking silver container. Open it up. There's some cheap jewelry in a plastic bag next to a book you're not going to read.
I'm here for it, yeah.
All of that. Yes, okay, thank you.
Everybody's also on board with that.
I think it would be fucking so interesting.
So good. Yeah.
Oh, also, like the Marvel universe or just superheroes in general is something that I wanted to dabble in.
I don't know why I can't get beside the idea, like the whole like notion of superhero TTRPGs. It's very hard for me to get in that mindset. I don't know why. Like, I think the only like Burning Hearts Forever, which we did with Queer XP, that one was like a little bit different because it was like very magical girl. But it's something about the superhero vibes. It don't curl over for me. It might be because I never got into the comics like we talked about earlier. But I don't know.
Gay gasp. Hold up. Another property, a piece of media that I would love to turn into a TTRPG in some capacity. I would love to set a TTRPG campaign in the world of the comic Hellbiter in Buckaroo, I think, Oregon it is. It's this horror comic where there's this city in Oregon where like all of these serial killers are born. There's this like crazy number of serial killers that are all born to the same place. Like I would definitely do something like that. That would be fun.
Yeah, I'm also still in gay gasp. Thank you. Very gay gasp.
it's like verbal italices almost.
Yeah,
it just gives that.
It's so good.
It's got that flavor. It's got that personality.
A little spice, if you will.
It's got that spice. It's got
just
that
a little
flavor.
a sprinkle.
I'm now just going to be inexplicably British for the rest of this. For that,
I can't keep
until I'm Southern, Midwestern again. I'm just going to be British about everything.
Yeah, you have fun.
Already, it's changed.
Oh God! See? Oh yeah, I don't know. There's other things that I would like to play too. This is a very deep black cut. I don't know if anybody knows of this thing, but there was a show by the name of Greenleaf back in the day, and it is about a church family, and it is basically a show about TD Jakes. I would love to do that with like the gods. It is basically a giant soap opera where the gods are just like having the most inexplicable crisis, and I would love to play that or run it, or like a Hell's Law Firm.
Trigger warning to all of our Castleton cast members who are viewing. Just that the description you just gave about that, of like that high there, I think some people have like some battle scars from that.
I'm sorry, I didn't
know.
no
worries, it's all good. Trauma is fun, it bonds us, we're all fine, we're all doing very well emotionally inside. Yes.
It's coming from a place of love, not hate, even though y'all got it.
I'm so, like, our tech guy, Justin, our tech homie, has a fucking rock band drum set behind him right now that I just picked up on, and I my brain just so distracted, I felt the need to verbalize it. I do have a question, if there isn't another one in chat to immediately jump to, or we can jump back to the next one in chat. Do you feel like... Ooh.
Oh, shit.
Ooh, let's
what is the most unique system that you've played, and what is your favorite system right now? Oh baby. Listen, my favorite system, and I think this might just be like just because I enjoyed it so much, I love Die RPG. That is my shtick.
Yeah, that's pretty fun.
That, like, you know how like some people have like their shtick, like the thing that they run, that is my thing. If anybody wants to play the RPG, we'll talk. That I love it so much. Justin, let's have a chat. But yeah, it's so good. And it's like I'm also like building out that world so much more right now. And it's like there's so many different ways that it could happen, and that so yeah, very excited, very would love to if anybody would like to do that. My Blue Sky DMs are open, so I can start looking and see who the hell is interested in this. so yeah.
There's two of them. So it was, what's the most unique one that you've played, and then what's your favorite right now? It was that two, both of them was that? The one you said?
Oh yeah, because Die RPG is like so unique. It's the only one that I've found that it's a D6 system, but the way that you hit things is different than like a Powered by the Apocalypse, and like you like your advantages and stuff like that. It's so unique, and like the way that you give out the classes and like everything, because the only thing that I did differently with World Replica, I let you guys pick what classes you want to play, but for the most part, you guys just make, for Die RPG, you guys make your actual character, the human side of the character, and I assigned you the role, the paragon that you get, which can be completely different than what you might have wanted, but you just have to roll with that. It's just so good. And Die RPG is kind of like, imagine like it's basically an isekai of sorts, where like the main purpose of it is like friends from before, or like colleagues or anybody are sitting down to play an actual, it's like kind of like Jumanji. Like you sit down to play an actual game, and then when you sit down to play that game, you end up in the world of that game. And it can be completely different, and your presence in that game destabilizes the world. So unless you guys decide what you're gonna do, even if you're gonna stay in the game or not, it really matters, because everybody has to decide at the end what they want to do. And spoiler alert, this is just like a little thing. somehow, some way, my players decided they didn't want either of those options. So so yeah, just look out for the end of World Replica, the season finale, because they decided to do something completely the fuck different, and they have to deal with those fucking consequences, and I can't wait.
I will say the season 1 finale, without going into spoilers of World Replica, really felt like a kind of return to that age of television of like the 22 episode like the pre-streaming, wherein like these season finales are these big kind of paradigm shifting things where you're setting up the next system by this, and there is this huge moment and a huge shift that I think has like fundamentally altered how the story has to be told in part 2 because of like decisions that were made. And if you want to see a really interesting and like compelling instance of the dice telling the story, I would definitely check out that finale when it releases.
A completely different idea how this shit ended, and because of what happened, I had to come up with a whole new ending on the fly. I was like, oh shit, cool, this is what we're gonna do now. See you guys in season 2, because there's no way for there not to be a season 2. Oh my god, power of friendship, epic kaiju battles, it was so good.
Yeah, it's very good. And it is like this unironic like power of friendship. It is very hard to explain the way that it happens, but it feels like a real turning point in the like relationship of some characters at that moment too. So good, so good. I can like wax poetic about that, but I'm going to answer the question.
Sorry. Yeah.
I would say the most unique system that I've played was actually right here on RD5, where you should always tune in for really cool like experimental and indie TTRPGs, because that is our brand of Strawberry Jam. I played a game here where I was one of 4 goblins in a trench coat, and I loved it so much. I played this like grizzled, close to retirement, like mechanic type character, and it was so good. And there are mechanics in this game where the 4 players are each a goblin that is in this trench coat, and the person who's the feet gets to choose the movement and etc. The person who's the head gets to do the talking, and there are different movements. The goblins fight each other. You make rules or rolls against other players to move up in the trench coat, and it's so fun. I played a character named Gublin Name, which is goblin name, but just with a bunch of like accents and like umlauts on it.
So like when I named my character Courtney, but spelled it completely wrong.
Yeah. I was like, this feels so. That is the most unique. I'm gonna say that my favorite system that I have played. I love VTM, but right now, like, I don't know why my like intuition, the answer that I have is Tin Candles. I had this like amazing experience at PAX U where there were like a bunch of TTRPG creators that were hanging out, and we went to this speakeasy underneath Philadelphia, where we went behind a bookcase into like this actual speakeasy, and
no jealous.
With candlelight, with 10 candles, actually played in person, and it's easily one of my like top 3 role-playing experiences of all time. What I really love about 10 Candles is the amount of creative freedom and like that synergy between the like person who's telling the story and the players. For those of you who are unfamiliar with 10 Candles, like you get to write a truth sometimes where you, the player, get to add something to the story that is then instantly kind of canon and exists. And the story takes just fascinating, really, really interesting turns. For example, at the game that I was describing that I was playing, my favorite friend, Paige, we had a really, really fun game where through improv, it ended up that her character was like a figment of our imaginations, was this like kind of representation of our shared guilt for something that we had all done. And there was this like, I wrote this on the slip, and I'm like, so it's this essentially shared psychosis that has happened where like all of us have, and it just so much fun. So I would say that is my favorite. Yes. Oh, Jenna was there. That's right. Oops, all lesbian.
I lied. I think the most unique game that I played was Tick Tick Bloom by Meadow, just because I've never had a game where I'm not playing a singular character and I'm just a player. We played an entire court. So if somebody died or anything happened, we had to create a new person to fill their shoes or anything like that. And it's please go support Meadow. Go get Tick Tick Bloom. It is phenomenal. And another game that I like have to scream from the top of the hat. Under the Autumn Strangely. That is one of those games that, like, if you like a little spooky shit, and if you have people in person, it is phenomenal to play together. You're basically telling it's a giant game of improv, and you don't have to have much to do, like much prep to it. But oh my God, you can tell some very scary and very gripping stories with that system. Loved it. I got to play that with Sean, Mika, Candace the Magnificent, and B Zelda. It was phenomenal.
Oh my God, that sounds like such an amazing time. Such an amazing table. I have a question, unless there is another one, and feel free to keep throwing them on. We're just going to chat until we like wrap up here. Yeah. I want to ask you, and this is kind of like interesting because essentially we do this to ourselves. It's about typecasting, and I'm wondering if you see any typecasting, even though it might be self-imposed because we write these characters. Are there any through lines that you see kind of in the characters that you've played?
I try my best not to, mainly because I get bored. The ADHD, I get bored very quickly. So if I'm constantly playing the same character over and over again, I'm like, get that out. And like, I like to look at things from like a little bit of a different lens. So I try not to do the typecasting. However, I am a spiritual bitch in real life. So I tend to lean towards the magical spiritual characters a lot. Just because it's like, one, I feel like I can tell a good story regarding that because I have a lot of real life experiences, and I think real life experience add good things to it. So it like, even in the VTM game, my ministry character owns a botanica. he owns a botanica, and he is like a giant a mogul in this industry. So it's great. So I think that's like, I easily fall into like making the magic characters or the yapper. Because that charisma stat is allegedly at 20, and somebody said maybe 25. So
yeah, that's so interesting. I'm like racking my brain asking myself the same question. I think I play a lot of survivors is something that I have noticed. I think that's like a part of myself that I bring into a lot of the characters that I play have been changed by something that has happened in their life. There's often an event or something. I love the idea of that trajectory of that bounce back of seeing someone, like you said, like I never want to play a hero or a villain. I find that both of those kind of extremes can be incredibly boring. I always try to play somewhere in the kind of like ether between those two polar opposites. But yeah, I think that is definitely one thing. I would say I like morally ambiguous, like a gay maybe villain. It's like,
see, I try not to make all of my characters gay because it's easy for me. So it's like trying to go against that and make like somebody who I'm trying my damnedest to play a heterosexual right now, and it's so hard. It is so hard to play a straight. It's not possible.
My apologies.
So it's hard. And it's like, I want them to be a good straight, where it's not like they're a terrible person, but it's a thing. So that's like my biggest issue with it. I'm just like, can y'all stop? Please. and like as I say he's a heterosexual, I'm 100% sure this man is a demisexual. I know he is. We'll see.
That's real. So
I wasn't talking about Siege. Siege is gay as shit. he's gay as fuck. I'm so sorry.
Hey, Help Action Needed is here. Hello and welcome.
We do have a hydrate, so get to drinking that wine.
I got water and I gotta fill this up and just like make a quick run in a sec, because the way that I have felt the fucking water molecules in my mouth just dry up, like the driest mouth ever. So I'm gonna grab water here in just like a quick moment after we wrap up on this question. Okay. But yeah, I think when I think about like both Jean-Pierre and Phineas, like two of the like larger roles that are played, they're both characters that aren't necessarily motivated by a moral compass or a set of like inborn principles that serve as their kind of internal locus or like their North Star, the thing that they like motivates them. I think Jean-Pierre is quite literally dead inside in much of what we see him do, including like plotting with Juicy Garland's character to like destroy Eagle Stadium as like a part of their plan to like kill an elder vampire. So he's just kind of off the chain, and he, like we learned in the episode we were discussing before, has like a very sexual reaction to like fires and car crashes and things. He's very, very complicated, Jean-Pierre's. And that's actually, if you want to see that, the therapy sessions, that is one of the things that is explored with me and Candace the Magnificent in those therapy sessions for that. And then, yeah, Phineas, who I played for Castleton, I think, especially towards the end, I feel like he had a good arc as like some emotional depth. But I got to shoot like really, really good scenes with my the actress Savannah, the DIY witch who plays my little sister, my beloved little sister, demigoddess of fairy tales and fables. And I of course made them so bad. I love Savannah. The way that we have become like siblings through playing siblings. Yeah. I don't like, if you watch Castleton and you saw this sibling fight between like Savannah and I, you know what's up. Like, I think because we are so close and because we like had talked so much and like knew these characters, we really took this like gloves off approach to this sibling argument where it started about this, but then it's like, oh, so now you want to bring this up. You want right. And it's just like one of my favorite scenes I've ever shot, because it starts, my character Phineas for the whole half of the first part is trying to reunite with her character Fallon, and you see him doing that, and he does so, and she comes to his house like hungover, and he hasn't seen her in 5 days and thought she was dead, and so he of course is like, you know, at first just happy to see her and embraces her, and it's like, oh my god, you know, I thought, but then after a minute it's like, okay, but also where the fuck were you, and why did you not reach out to me, like yada yada. Those type of roles, I find a lot of joy in exploring those real feeling interpersonal conflicts with characters, because that to me is where some of the best parts of APs are. And I think you know you're watching a good AP when the format melts away, when you aren't just watching a bunch of like 4 different like Zoom screens. It isn't just a Zoom call to you anymore. Like the narrative, the production, the performance, the delivery, all of the different pieces add together to something that's greater than the sum of its parts. And you in this moment are like absorbed in the narrative. And again, it's like the medium through which it's told is like second nature. I have a question for you about choosing projects. So when you are choosing projects, and actually, hold on. I'm going to ask you this because I am going to run in and get some water, and I feel like this is a good thing for you to work on.
I have homework. Okay, guys.
Yeah. There's two choices. I want to get a top 3 from you and 2 choices. One would be Disney Channel original movies. You could give me your top 3 of those. Okay. Or you could give me your top 3 PlayStation 2 games. Those are both very
Ooh.
specific. You can choose one. Which one?
Ooh.
Decomps PS2. Decomps PS2. This is a millennial
I'll take decomps. I'll take decomps.
Decomps. Okay.
Yeah. So
Audience, chat. I called you Cass because I'm like, there's so many fucking goddamn creative nerds. I know you all are in Cass as well. Let me play along with Queon here. Give me your top 3 decomps. If you don't know what a decom is, it is a Disney Channel original movie. I'm talking like Cheetah Girls, The Ring, fucking like all of the ones, Halloween Town, the one that was like Don't Look Under the Bed, that like horrified a generation of kids. And rewatching that, and this is something we don't have time to unpack.
Go get your water.
It did not age that well.
Go get your water.
Yeah. All right, give me your top 3, folks. I want to hear your top 3.
Right. Okay, chat. So this is hard. I was never gonna get the PS2s. That I have far too many PS2 games that I love. But thinking about the decoms, Cheetah Girls has to be up there for me. I still like quote Cheetah-licious every day. And also, thank you. Also, Luck of the Irish. Luck of the Irish is also so good. I don't know. I don't know if they had them in Australia. It's a possibility they might have got ported over, but it's the biggest thing that I loved was definitely Cheetah Girls, like I said. 17 again, just because it was very cute seeing these grandparents become like the kids again. That was adorable. And I might have to say Luck of the Irish, probably.
Luck of the Irish.
Luck of the Irish was really good. I really enjoyed it.
I think it had a good like message about culturalism.
Yeah, my like as long as nobody says The Color of Friendship, we're great.
Okay, what was wrong with The Color of Friendship? You didn't like that?
Have you watched it recently?
I haven't watched it recently, but I remember that being one of the few Disney Channel like anything that I feel like had any kind of nuanced or realistic exploration of race was in that, because I feel like they typically didn't address that.
To answer the question about which Cheetah Girls 2 had the better soundtrack. Thank you.
Okay, so you want to fist fight and
Cheetah
the
Girls
parking
2.
lot is what I'm hearing, is that you would like to battle.
Listen, I loved Galleria so much, but
he's talking about Raven Simone, the anchor, the center.
Like, Galleria, when it came to just like the beginning, she was doing too damn much. Like, I get it. She was like, oh, we're trying to work. And she started doing all of that highfalutin shit. Sit down. But when she got to Spain, she had every right to be on their ass. We came here for this shit. And y'all out here gallivanting across Spain.
Right, looking at elephants and just dumb shit. That whole movie.
If you don't get in the booth, get in the booth. That's why we're here.
Why I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm not going to yuck anybody's yum because I don't do that. And again, what RD5 is about authenticity.
Forget about the Lizzie McGuire movie.
Okay. Lizzie McGuire movie is definitely, because it feels different, doesn't it? Because that shit was theatrical, homie. I remember like going to see that. Yes, with the like Italian version of the Italian version of Hilary Duff.
Yes, that man out. Sing to me, Paolo.
Icon. Okay, so we got some of the, before I get into the chats, and thank y'all for putting yours in this, because this is such like this is almost like a personality test or assessment. Answering this, you get to know people. Queon, what were your top 3?
Cheetah Girls. I have to add Lizzie McGuire movie into that. Even though it does feel different, it is definitely up there. And 17 again.
Oh, okay. 17 again. Is
Tia and Tamara. Ooh, or Twitches. No, not Twitches. Not Twitches.
Twitches is a valid choice. 17
again was when Tia and Tamara's grandparents like took some potion that Taj had made up and they turned back into kids. Also, I might be biased.
Oh, did they eventually become like babyish, like with
No,
baby
not
talk?
babies. They turned 17, and the reason why I might be biased is because Grandpa was fine.
Got it. Okay.
Fine.
Interesting.
to this day, I still think that. Don't shake your head at me, Justin. Hold on.
He's shaking his head in approval. In solidarity. That's what I felt from that. Was that was a head shake of I'm with you. I stand with you, Queon.
Can I put links in Twitch? Can I? I
am going to defer to our producer
because I just want people to see the vision I have here. That's all.
Yeah.
A Google search of a actor. That's it. Yeah, it's literally just this is a lot. Anyway, the man is just attractive. We'll see if it goes. If it goes great. If not, oh well.
I'm sitting here like trying. I think that like Again, I got to say something that's controversial yet brave. I think that my top three this might be hot. This might be a spicy take. This might be have a little bit of like a heat to it. So I think my number one is the Lizzie McGuire movie. I think that might be my favorite. It's like just so iconic. Like, the whole "This Is What Dreams Are Made Of" song lived in my head rent free for like the majority of a decade. And I just I love that show. So Lizzie McGuire, this is where we get to the Spicy Spice, because this is
what are you about to say?
It is this. So it's a movie that came out recently, and I'm debating. Okay, hold on. Let me.
I'm gonna let you land, but I don't like where this is going.
I'm going to adjust. Because if I'm honest with myself, my number three is probably like ahead of this one. I'm gonna allow it to jump the line. Number two for me is probably the original Cheetah Girls. Okay, I'm talking about like when they sang that Cinderella song.
You're the one. Girl,
yeah,
petting me. After I done walked in dog poop, I'd have to fight her.
The images of them, just her and Adrian's character, just dancing on the street for strangers in full winter coats, to no music. They don't make iconography like that. They don't make art like that anymore, and it's sad, but truly that was, man, that soundtrack back in the day. Oh my god!
Now, all four of those women made me question my sexuality at that young age.
You know what?
I was gay. I didn't know if I was bisexual. I knew I was gay.
I forget who we're talking to this about. I think it was actually like Omega had fucking back to you. But like I think like TV crush / like kind of sexual awakening was Kel from Kenan and Kel.
You told me that.
Yeah. I've told a lot of people that, because that is like I think an important component, I think, of my journey. It's important.
And I told you what mine was, and you judged the fuck out of me.
Oh, tell me again, because I forgot, so I can judge you again.
George from George of the Jungle.
Oh, Brendan Fraser and George of the Jungle.
Yep.
Did I just? I think. Did I? Was I just like, it's a wild card pick?
Like, that's a choice.
Okay, yeah, that's a choice. All right, the choices were made there. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, because I wasn't gonna go with Power Rangers, but that too.
Yeah. My controversial like third pick is a movie that I saw at the tail end of last year, and I have not seen the other three Descendants films, which I know were like really, really big for generations after my like millennial ass watch Disney Channel. But they had one where fucking Brandy as Cinderella was in it. And I was like, what is happening? And they also had fucking Rita Ora in it. Now, here's the thing. Is it a good film? No. Is it something that has redeeming qualities that like elevates it above that? No.
The cast was just really good.
It was just very like in terms of like just something to watch. It just had flavor, it had personality in the moment that I needed to. I
understand the personality of it all, but my main gripe and my main issue with this program, the wigs were terrible.
Oh, okay.
They were bad across, except Brandy's and Rita's. Everybody else's wig was trash.
Okay, so
the wigs were bad.
Like the way that I felt rage for these like young actresses. There's one in particular where I swear to God, they are switching this girl's wig every other scene. You know what I'm talking about? The one with the blue hair.
Yeah.
She wears 18 different wigs in this movie because they could not. I don't know if the stylist didn't know how to work with black hair, but from one scene to another, it's like, okay.
I can understand not knowing how to work with black hair, but it's a wig. This is a wig. This is in our Lord's 2023, because I don't know when it was recorded, or 2024. You're telling me you don't know how to style a wig? Please,
right. And
get out of
this
here.
is supposed
Disney
to be a big property too. Like I haven't seen the other Descendants, but they like, I remember they were fucking like toys and shit that like my younger cousins and stuff would ask for. But yeah, that's my controversial third. I did see Kate in the chat said, so the cast for Descendants Rise of Red is fire, but the storyline was not there. The storyline made no sense. I could dissect it and pull it apart and but we don't have the time. I don't have the energy, and I just don't want to expose. But it's like, first of all, just as soon as anything that feels even remotely like amateurish in a way, it brings time travel into the narrative. You know you're in for a very good, very coherent time. You know the storyline's going to make all of the sense, and that everything is just going to be so satisfying and laid out. But I do want to review the top 3 decoms that we got from folks. So I don't want to miss any. I want to see where they start. If I miss anybody's, let me know. If I miss yours, please let me know. I don't want to miss anybody's. Okay, first up,
I believe the first one is Queers and Spears, my love.
There we go. Okay, so first we've got Cheetah Girls. Second, Halloween Town. 3, Luck of the Irish. All right. Okay. So Halloween Town, absolute classic. Absolutely agree with you on that front. Love that movie. Thought it was weird when they replaced the lead for it in like the later movies.
I didn't watch it after that.
It was very, very distracting, and I didn't like it after that. Next up is the amazing Kate the Great Cosplays, who says High School Musical is her favorite. That one, I believe, was kind of a cultural shift, I would say, right?
I think that was a little bit after my time, though.
Oh, definitely.
I'm as you can see with the whiskers, I'm a little old.
Me too. I had aged, I think, out of the Disney Channel before High School Musical had become this major cultural force that it became. But I have respect for it because I feel like at the same time, like in the years after, High School Musical and Glee allowed a lot of like theater kids to like be seen or like come in to themselves. So we love that. High School Musical, I have not seen the entire thing, but I have watched video essays where people break it down. So that was Kate the Great's number 1. Number 2, Cheetah Girls. Exactly. Look right here. Same placement too. Okay, so Lemonade Mouth.
That was definitely after my time.
Definitely after my time. So I have seen a video recap about this. Like if I don't want to watch a movie, sometimes I watch like a YouTuber, just kind of watch it and dissect it. And this is one of the movies that I did that for. I watched, I think it was Nick DeRamio watch Lemonade Mouth. And I mean, you know, it's got, it's got some flavors.
Absolutely.
Are they my flavors?
No.
Unfortunately, no. They're not flavors that I seek, that I'm after. But they do have a flavor. It was like the whole thing hinged on the music, and I feel like if you're gonna have a production that is music heavy or musical, you have to have the catchy, especially if you're on Disney Channel. My God, think about the bops.
I have one question moving
I've
to
got
the next
two
one.
answers. Yes.
So is Justin running the RD5 account currently? Look under the bed. Is your number 2?
I like that. I actually thought about putting that one too.
I guess to each their own. We did not die, but fair. But I understand liking horror. But I was just questioning because listen, I was a punk as a kid. Okay. Soon. I ain't like all of that. All right. But yeah, one thing I did love about Lemonade Mouth, it did give me Hayley Kiyoko. I appreciate that so much.
She was the very unmistakably queer icon that raised from that.
Yeah, love that for her.
I know a lot of people who have told me. I actually know a lot of people in the TTRPG specific place. She served as the sexual awakening for what it seems like a generation. I think a lot of girls may have felt a little butterflies in their stomach for the first time.
I think when it came to Hayley Kiyoko, you had your Hayley Kiyoko girls and you also had your Kehlani girls.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That's so true. I did sitting with that for a moment.
Yeah.
So Justin picked Jet Jackson. Oh my God. Okay, so did Jet? I remember that being a show. Did he have a movie? I bet you he did. I think he did, right?
I think so,
okay.
Yeah.
He got. Oh my God. So this is just the time frame in which I watched this. My brain is being sucked back there. I'm just thinking about the fucking Goofy movie. And do you remember at the end with the Tevin Campbell song?
Does the Goofy movie count as a decom?
No.
Okay, because
if it's a Disney movie, but it's not a Disney Channel movie.
Got you. Because if it was a decom, I'll take my list off and just putting that there.
Okay, we next list I want to set just because this is a fun thing to do. It's really interesting, and I love seeing what y'all are putting in chat.
Am I coming back next week? The next time you have a roll talk?
Hey, you are more than like I said. You just walked into a trap door. This whole thing was a ruse that I set up. Justin was willing to support me, and I just appreciate you being so kidnappable.
Hold on. Before we dig into anything else up here, I just want to clarify something for chat who follows me on Blue Sky and also follows Aetherius out there in the internets. I mentioned something about possibly liking a person and possibly being in a dating era or something. And then Aetherius mentioned that this might just be date night. I just want to clarify that my message was not about Aetherius. We are friends, and if the person who I am talking about is in chat, it's not.
This isn't what it looks like. Oh God,
it looks like bad.
God.
I just have to clarify. I am still very much so single, but I'm not for sale, I guess, is what we would say. Just had to put that out there.
Thank you for.
Because I know that they are a jealous motherfucker, and I don't need shit blowing up my phone tonight.
I just want them to know I was just being cheeky. I was just being a cheeky little lad. Just a little bit of cheek. I did it. It was, and I messaged Queon because I saw you write that after I had sent that. Yeah. I wasn't gonna say anything about it, but I do appreciate you.
I know what I'm dealing with here.
Yeah, and I just want to say, again, this isn't what it looks like. If you can see both of my hands, I'm fully dressed.
So you don't think I'm cute? Okay.
Are you asking if you are cute enough to be stabbed in my sleep? Do I need to check under my bed when I go to sleep tonight because I said something on Blue Sky?
The danger is not easy. Okay, but yeah, I don't know. I've had a blast tonight. However, do we want to cut it at the top of the hour?
Yes, I think so. That makes sense, right? Justin?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Okay, cool.
Justin, give me thumbs up if I can, thumbs down if I can't. There is, after having an amazing time hosting, which thank you to RD5 for allowing me to come on here and to host and to have these conversations. This was so much fun. I'm glad that we got to talk about like both the blurred culture, our experiences, and then just like really just hyper obsessed about all of the nerdy shit that we both love, and it has been amazing. Justin, can I share the thing that I am now doing for Roll D5?
You work here, don't you? Hey, on. If you're in the chat, message in our group.
Okay, you got 6 minutes on. It's a good thing, and it's exciting stuff. But before we head out, Queon, tell people where they can find you if they have become entranced in the 3 hours and they want to see what you're doing. They want to see where you're creatively engaged, what you're up to. Where can they check you out?
Right. First of all, I would like to say thank you to everybody who has been here from the beginning and stuck around until the end, because first and foremost, we were just sitting here yapping the whole time. I didn't have any clue how this was gonna go, but I could sit here and talk to Aetherius for hours, which we did. But again, I am Queon. I go by Brother Queon across all of the internets. That is BRUTHAQUEON. And if you enjoyed anything that I did here, you can find me across all the social medias. Specifically, I live on Blue Sky. I'm on everything. But if you're trying to get my attention, or if you want me to be in anything that you're kind of producing, or you want me to run a game for you or anything like that, reach out to me on Blue Sky. Because my Instagram DMs are where things go to die. Just gonna be honest. And I like to keep that just for like friends, but if we're doing like personal like work things, I try to keep that over on Blue Sky, or email me. But yeah, other than that, you can catch World Replica releasing this month over on Batty Bars, which I am so happy that my little brainchild is coming out, and episode 3 will be out soon and in your hands, and you can get to hear what combat is like when I run it, and also what it sounds like for me to traumatize my players with their histories. It's great. Like, yeah, I like playing with a little bit of memory things with my players, and I get to do that for the first time, and it's great. But yeah, last but not least, my apparel store, The Plot Armory, will be releasing this Friday. I have had to rework some things at the very last tail of things last week, so it was supposed to be out on the 21st. It is now on the 28th. But yeah, The Plot Armory is a all-inclusive place for nerds to be nerds and enjoy things that we are allegedly told that we're not supposed to enjoy, and you can be proud and look good in what you're wearing, because again, every single character has plot armor, and you, my friend, deserve a little bit of it too, because you're the main character of your life.
I love it. He's got merchandise. We love to see that. Merchandise.
I got things going on. But yeah, that's me. I've had an amazing time, and you can most likely catch me throughout the internets, to be honest.
Perfect. And thank you so much for joining me for this conversation. Again, I'd like to publicly say to Queon's boo, please don't stab me. It is not what it looks like. I am just a little guy. So just on the record, closing it out.
You'll be fine.
Okay, because I am gonna check under my bed and just make sure that like everything is secured.
You're safe. I'm the one that got to sleep with one eye open.
God, just cover my bases. You never know.
Yeah.
Anyways, but yes, my name is Aetherius Bordeaux. I am an AP actor and a content creator. I am also a streamer. I'm actually going to be streaming on my friend Paige's channel after this. I'm going to be playing some Marvel Rivals, and so if you still want to hang out after this, if you're trying to do it, if you're free, I'm free. Like, I'm trying to hang out, dude. Let's make it happen. So I'm going to be on Pluto's Underworld. You can check me there. This is going to be so much fun. Love Paige over there. You can catch me in Castleton. As Castleton, the International Smash TTRPG sensation, comes to its finale, comes to its close. Over 120 different content creators from all around this big rock hurtling through space that we're on, like, put their time and energy and talent into telling an amazing story, into something that, like, truly is greater than the sum of its parts. So you can catch me on that. Additionally, every single Wednesday now, I just started a series, and it is Jane Austen Regency Pride and Prejudice vibes meets the Power Rangers, and it is such like a fun, like, just mix of those two like genres and vibes. It's very, very hard to explain and articulate, but the tone of it I really love, because I feel like it does a really good job of bouncing between those two things. So you can catch me over on Pluto's Underworld every Wednesday doing that. I, of course, am on World Replica, which is the podcast that we have talked about multiple times tonight. World Replica is an all-black, all-queer actual play podcast of the Die RPG. You can get it on Spotify. You can get it on an Apple Podcast. Just type in World Replica wherever you get your podcasts, and you can hear the story, which we have already had a couple of episodes come out for.
Please make sure you subscribe to Baddie Bards and listen to also Echo, which is a fucking amazing podcast as well. And I'm just so happy to be a part of Baddie Bards, and I love it over there. It's great. Okay, bye.
Yes. No. We love the Baddie Bards, and they have been like so just amazing with the production for World Replica, which and I think that like that's it. I am going to be doing some like solo streaming throughout the day. So again, if you need to body double while you're like doing work for the man, while you're like just fucking grinding through capitalism and reality, why not hang out, right? Yeah, I'm going to play like a bunch of silly games, and I'm going to be playing some mystery games, including Disco Elysium, which was like a highly requested game I'm going to be getting into. But yeah, essentially that's it. Oh, and then I feel like we're right at the buzzer. If you don't see me after I share this piece of information, I just want you to know it's been real, and that like it was crying the driest tears. But yeah, if I'm going to share this, I think that this is fine to share. It's not that big of a deal, but yeah. But yeah, no, I have had such an amazing time hosting here on Roll D5. I've had such amazing conversations like the one that I'm having with Queon, and previously with Spinx Akasha and Candace the Magnificent and Spunky Taylor. And so Roll D5 approached me about hosting the Roll D5 talks moving forward. So moving forward, every month you will see me hosting a in-depth conversation. This was like really just I really wanted time to talk about like the Black nerd experience, and especially to have Queon on it. So this was very fun and very informal. Sometimes they will be a little bit more structured when we have a panel. Other times it'll be like this, where it's just people sharing their life experiences and how their identity and parts of themselves are showing up in the TTRPG community, and conversely, which parts of them aren't showing up and why that is, and having those conversations and exploring that. So you can check me here every month. I also am going to start being on more shows. Every fucking show I've done for Roll D5, and I've been a goblin in a trench coat. I've been a really cunty mushroom pop star for a bit. That was super fun. I've done a lot of stuff here. So yeah, and I just want to shout out Roll D5. If you have not been to this channel before, thank you and welcome. We would love to get a subscribe from you if you enjoyed what you saw tonight and you want to support independent TTRPG creators who are lifting up indie TTRPGs. That is right. I think that there is ubiquity with a certain starting system, and I really love that this channel is dedicated to lifting up the art and the creativity and just taking the work of really hard loving people who are building these systems to tell these stories and just giving them a platform to do so, and providing creators like myself the opportunity to have conversations like this. So I think it's really, really cool. If you want to support that, if any of that sounds cool to you, if you want to see wacky games or more conversations like this, make sure you subscribe. Make sure you subscribe, so that you get the notifications, all of that good stuff. Everything that you have to hit, all the like, generic ending a stream YouTube video things that need to be hit. I've been going down the line. But yeah, this has been so fantastic and such a good time. And Justin has something to say. Justin?
Beautiful.
Oh, yay! Yay!
I have two things before we talk about the raid, though.
Let's go. Let's fucking go. Let's do this. What's up?
Hi. This is very quick and very simple. A lot of the things that we do here in the TTRPG community is all about donating our time. If you enjoy what we do here, feel free to buy us a coffee. That makes our lives way easier when it comes to making and bringing you phenomenal things. So you can hit up RD5's coffee, or you can find mine in my link tree. So yeah, thanks.
Hell yeah, double finger guns. Support creators. And yeah, thank you guys so much for joining us this evening. Hopefully you had fun. Hopefully you had an engaging time and had fun listening to Queon and I going out. And again, just to make it triple clear to Queon's booth, this was again just such a chill, just like cool, very just like chill and cool and like platonic hang. And it's important to me that you know that.
All good. But yeah, allegedly we'll be doing a raid over to who?
Yes, Paige, whose channel I'm about to be on. We're going to. I'm going to be playing some Marvel Rivals. If you like, look, when I tell you, I'm doing the like, you got any games on your phone, like super close thing. I'm about to fuck it up with Storm, who is my current main. Hopefully they did not nerf my girl in this new patch. We will find out tonight over on where we're raiding. So thank you again for being here. And we are ready to raid whenever you are ready, Justin. Let's raid, baby. Let's ride, y'all. Bye.
It was great.